Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Del mar los vieron llegar, mis hermanos emplumados serán los hombres barbados de la profecía esperada. Se oyó la voz del monarca de que el Dios había llegado y les abrimos la puerta. Por temor a lo ignorado, iban montados en bestias, como demonios del mal, iban con fuego en las manos y cubiertos de metal. Solo el valor de unos cuantos les opuso resistencia, y al mirar correr la sangre se llenaron de vergüenza, porque los dioses ni comen ni gozan con lo robado. Y cuando nos dimos cuenta, ya todo estaba acabado, y en ese error entregamos la grandeza del pasado, y en ese error nos quedamos 300 años esclavos. Se nos quedó el maleficio de brindar al extranjero nuestra fe, nuestra cultura, nuestro pan, nuestro dinero, y le seguimos cambiando oro por cuentas de vidrio, y damos nuestras riquezas por sus espejos con brillo. Siglo XX nos siguen llegando rubios y les abrimos la casa y los llamamos amigos, pero si llega cansado un indio de andar la sierra, lo humillamos y lo vemos como extraño por su tierra. con tus hermanos del pueblo. Oh, maldición de Malinche, enfermedad del presente, ¿cuándo dejarás mi tierra? ¿Cuándo harás libre a mi gente?
Oye, que estamos aquí. Mírame, estamos aquí. Desde hace rato, cuando ustedes llegaron, ya estaban las huellas de nuestros zapatos. Se robaron hasta la comida de gato y todavía se están lamiendo el plato. Bien encabronados con estos ingratos. Hoy le doy duro a los tambores hasta que me acusen de maltrato. Si no entiendes el dato, pues te lo tiro en cumbia, bossa nova, tango o vallenato. A lo Calaboy y bambú, bien frontú, con sangre caliente como Timbuktu. Estamos dentro del menú. Tupac se llama Tupac por Tupac Amaru del Perú. América no es solo USA, papá. Esto es desde Tierra del Fuego hasta Canadá. Hay que ser bien bruto, bien hueco. Es como decir que África es solo Marruecos. Estos canallas se les olvidó que el calendario que usan se lo inventaron los mayas con la Valdivia precolombina. Desde hace tiempo, este continente camina, pero ni con toda la marina pueden sacar de la vitrina la peste campesina. Esto va para el capataz de la empresa. El machete no es solo para cortar caña, también es para cortar cabeza.
Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. 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 Te muerde, te muerde.
Los paramilitares, las guerrillas, los hijos del conflicto, las pandillas, las listas negras, los falsos positivos, los periodistas asesinados, los desaparecidos, los narcogobiernos, todos los que robaron, los que se manifiestan y los que se olvidaron, las persecuciones, los golpes de estado, el país en quiebra, los exiliados, el peso devaluado, el tráfico de droga, los carteles, las invasiones, los emigrantes sin papeles, 5 presidentes en 11 días, disparo a quemarropa por parte de la policía, más de 100 años de tortura, la nova trova cantando en plena dictadura. Somos la sangre que sopla la presión atmosférica. Gambino, mi hermano, esto sí es América.
Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerde. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. 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 Te muerde, te muerde.
Viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento Lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
A ver, que alguien me explique.
All right. Okay, so here we go. Shit, here we go. What up, brother? Good to have you here, bro. Excellent message we're about to read pretty soon. Yeah, he already started. Look at this guy, dude. You have any songs in invade? We all got invaded. We all basically were. Well, not technically you guys, but and I do have songs in Nahuatl, by the way, because you can't even pronounce it. However, I don't really know what they're saying, so it's like it mutes the point. I mean, it voids the point because the songs that I play actually have a message. Each one of them that I play has a message. You know, so hey, what up, Rick? Good to have you, bro. Damn, Bo. Yeah, Sharala. For you brothers that don't know me, I go by Joshua or Yoshea Yahoo, right? Yeah, because you needed a timeout, dumbass. That's why. Like, dude, you need a timeout. I'm going to do it again. Watch. Boom. There you go. You see? That's how stupid you are. Matter of fact, you and guess what, dude? It's just so funny, family, because it's almost like it's part of the whole, class session or show, like Chicloso likes to call it, right? I had this up earlier, and he started just being silly and shit, right? Hey, good to have you here, Julio. So let's take that in consideration because again, I'm not the one that moves these sessions, man. I let the Spirit of the Most High try to make sure he guides me, which I try to always pray. Sometimes I do pray again, I'm gonna lie. So before I start a class, to let him be the one to speak. And it's funny because it kind of plays out. Look, check it out. Ecclesiastes 10 and 11. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a babbler is no better. Like what we just saw right now. The words of a wise man are gracious, meaning sometimes you just got to be quiet and wait and see what you're going to listen to, right? You know what I'm saying? Only a dumbass and a young buck will actually start this early.
But the lips of a fool will swallow up himself, which is what I'm saying right now. He's like, why you blocking me? You're strict. No, it's because you need a timeout, kid. You know what I'm saying? You need a timeout. It's just what it is. And you have the spirit of Ham. And if you're dealing with the spirit of Ham, then I don't need you here. You can sit back and listen. Or go to Fopi's channel. You know what I'm saying? They teach all kinds of shit about making you feel good. Then it says here, 13, the beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness. Guess why? Like, look, check it out. No, not this one. He says peace, but I'm like, all right. And then he goes, do you have any, you know what I'm saying? That's a backhand slap. This is why you need to make sure that you follow your own pattern of thought, because you are easy to digest, man. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because the beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness. That's the first thing you said. It's foolishness. It's like you can't even have any kind of maturity level to say, let me watch and see. Give it about 10, 15 minutes. See what's going on. No, not at all, my friend. Yeah, I think he is. He's acting like one. And the end of his talk is mischievous madness. Now, mischievous. Let's look up that word. Let's look up the word of mischievous. Okay? Just so you guys can understand that it's not me they have a problem with, family. They have a problem with the message. Because the message is strong and it's real and it's definite. Mischievous, a person, animal, or their behavior, causing or showing a fondness for causing trouble in a playful way. Right? Like, for example, right here. Do you have any songs in non-invader language like Nahuatl? Once again, mischievous, causing or showing a fondness for causing trouble in a playful way. You think it's funny. Causing or intend to cause harm or trouble. Causing or intending to, meaning like, passive-aggressive shit. Like you said, peace. And then you want to get tactful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a very typical individual that's very easy to read. You need to do some self-examining and write down your thoughts, because you probably don't. It says here, the words of a man's mouth are gracious. Why? Because, you have to judge things before you make a comment. Judge the matter first, then reprove. But the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. See, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you're always mischievous. Your spirit came out right away. So, yeah, you deserve a fucking timeout. Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that. You guys got the spirit of Canaan. Hey, you know what? Send it to me, bro. Let me show it at least and put it in your channel later. A fool also is full of words, just like, the other time he was here. I put the link up, and nobody decided to. You know what I'm saying? Today we got a class going on. And a man cannot tell what shall be, and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? You know what I'm saying? Who can tell him? Which is why I just find it so funny, fam. How everything plays, everything goes in its place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't plan for him to show up, bro. And I have these scriptures already up. And he's doing me a pinche favor away. Because the Dunning-Kruger effect is exactly what this verse is saying in the end. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be, meaning like you can't tell him nothing. You're in your echo chamber. You think you're smart and not realizing you're that stupid. Because stupid people don't realize that that's stupid. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? Oh, shit. It's pretty crazy, man. What's up, Chris? Good to have you here, bro. Did I say what's up to you, brother? Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, be revealed. That's right. Everything's getting revealed. So I think we're on the right track. Here, let me break it down in a more simpler way. Right? So it says in a GNV translation, what the wise say brings them honor, but the fools are destroyed by their own words. That's why I put your ass on timeout. You got no patience. Hamite, get out of here, bro. Fopi's right down the street. You can go ahead and listen to him. They'll tell you all the things you want to hear about. Make it feel good. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your echo chamber. They start out with silly talk, like what he's doing. Why don't you play some Nahuatl music? And end up with pure madness. A fool talks on and on. He comes over here posting shit since the other times, right? No one knows what is going to happen next. No one can tell us what will happen after we die. Well, the translation ain't exactly, proper, but we'll take it where it is right now. With all that said, let's continue, family. Okay, because like, man, it's crazy. And by the way, thank you, Rich, for giving me that advice. You know what I'm saying? It is true, and I will do my best to do it, bro. Because you know me, man. I'm just made a little different, but I'll keep this in mind. Luke 2:49 says, and he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Was ye not that I must be about my Father's business? Because that's what we're going to be tackling today. Our Father's business. This is not playtime. This is real shit right here. The stuff that's going on around us with government decisions, all kinds of crazy shit. In case you guys aren't following, some of you guys don't. We are in those times. I've talked to many people. I could say over more than a handful. Okay, I've asked them, "Have you ever seen anything like this before?" People that are older than me, and they're like, "Man, we're in a different time, bro." People my age, people a little older than me. I'm like my mom. Dude, I'm telling you, we are in a very, very important time, and it's going by and it's moving fast. Scriptures talk about that. So that's why, it's always important, by the way. And we're going to come back to this chapter in a few. It's important to read this stuff because, again, this only pertains to certain people. Deuteronomy 28:29 says, the secret things belong unto the Lord our God, the Creator. Okay? The Creator. We don't worship anybody else but the Creator. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of the law. Revealed. But those things which are revealed means, you know what I'm saying? Like secret stuff. Pertinent information. Things that would put away from us, from our minds, giving us a so-called history, made us believe certain things. Things were not revealed unto us at that time. This is why I showed you and I shared with you guys that Lutheran newsletter book about that year and that time, and it talks about exactly what would occur that would keep the word away from us constantly. Because, you know what I'm saying, 200, 300, 400 years later, guess what? They thought that we would never remember, but they don't understand the spiritual aspect of who we are. That's why in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but look what this means. I'll read 1 and 2 verse, so you can just kind of get an idea. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 1. This is the way the nations think. They really don't accept the fact that this spirit has been around, like has been here before. For the ungodly says, reasoning within themselves, but not all right. Our life is short and tedious. And in the death of a man, there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. You see this? So they believe that you die once and that's it. That's it, right? That's it. You die once, ya estuvo. Yeah, you'll never see yourself again. God knows what's happened. So if you're a fucking murderer, killer, or rapist, or mujeriego, or drug dealer, cartel, whatever the hell you are, whatever wickedness drives you, right? It literally is telling you right here that these people believe that. That's why they do what they do. They have no remorse of what may occur the next step. That shit was always on my mind since I can remember. Since I was young, man, I was not afraid to die, but I was afraid of what happens if I make mistakes and I go there and I pay. Like I had this concept. I can't tell you it was exactly correct right now, but as a kid, I kind of wondered these things. Then it says here, this is what they believe. For we are born all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is a smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our hearts. You see? So he keeps going and going and going and going and going. Now let's go to the end so you can understand this, right? So it says here, verse 21, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2:21. If you read the whole chapter, then it actually answers their reasoning. It says here, such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness had blinded them. You see that? For their own wickedness had blinded them. Such things they did imagine and were deceived. Proverbs 12:3. A man shall not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous shall not be moved. Such things they did imagine and were deceived, because if you're not rooted, and if you come from a wicked root, you're going to waver back and forth. And we see a lot of nations acting very, very gripey, man. You guys are really mad at us and shit, bro. For real.
A ver, que alguien me explique.
As for the mysteries of God, they knew them not. Neither hope they for the wages of righteousness. So if we read earlier in the chapter, it talks about how these other nations, they think like, hey, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna live for one time. I don't care. I'm gonna get laid. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I make a lot of money. Live for my kids, whatever, you know. Atheist people believe these things, right? But we're like, nah, bro. There's a book written in your lives. Okay? Lives. As for the mysteries of God, they knew them not. Neither hope they for the wages of righteousness, meaning wages, the balances of life. What have you worked? What have you, like, you know, to get wages, you got to do something, right? Neither they hope for the wages of righteousness. That's the works. That's the faith in the works applicable at the same time, meaning there's a balance in life. There's like a Libra, and they're going to balance you and say, how much does your fucking sin weigh? Even if your sin weighs as much as a feather, you're going to get burned. Neither hope they for the wages of righteousness, nor discern a reward for a blameless soul. Be not afraid of them that destroy the flesh. Be afraid of him that destroys the flesh and the spirit. For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Remember this. He made us to be eternal. Do you understand that? Ye are gods, but you'll die as men. So we're going to touch on, you know, some chapters later on, because this is where we have to really understand how sometimes we think we know what we know, and no one can tell you that you don't know, because that's just sometimes it is the way it is. I hate to say, like, stupid people don't know they're stupid. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, with a more brutish way of speaking. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. All right, let me check it. Let me see the link, Holmes. Oh, yeah. We're going to show it right now, dog. Don't even trip. Right now, we don't even worry about it. Thank you, my brother. Because you know what I'm saying? This is family. This is the way the family works. We have eyes for everybody. And this is not always we talk about, man. We send each other messages about what's going on. And, yo, this is crazy. What do you think? What do you see? You know what I mean? That's why I tell you, brothers, bro, do as best as you can to pass the message over, because it's important now, especially now. Verse 24, nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world. Envy. That's why, and they that do hold of his side do find it. That's the same thing that occurred in Genesis 4, I believe. Genesis 4:6, and the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. Sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, but that shall rule over him, meaning that's the battle. Sin. And it's sitting right there. And it literally tells us in Wisdom of Solomon 2, at the end, understanding that, you know what I'm saying? We're here for it. We should have been here for eternity. Wisdom of Solomon 2:23, for God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. So, brothers, if you are doubting the whole volume of the book, with all due respect, I can't help you anymore. Because you can't assume that God, the creator, did everything himself. He has categories, positions of people in the scriptures. We see it all. We see it throughout the books. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. Sin lieth at the door. Why do you think Paul talks about this here? It says here, Romans 7:23, but I see another law in my members, flesh, warring against the law of my mind, the thought process, right? And bringing into captivity the law of sin in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? You see this, what I'm saying? So he's battling. He understands now. What? At verse 22, let's go up just so you can get a better idea. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man, the spirit. You see the spirit. He delights in the law of the Most High after the inward man. But he understands that there's a flesh here that's battling with him, and that flesh is the one that F's up his mind. That's exactly what he talks about. And bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. When you're dealing with sin and you don't understand there's a spirit that is eternal, that's supposed to wake the hell up and go back to the instructions and reflection and cleansing your ways. And I mean, seriously, man, it's like, we don't need a priest to say, oh, God, forgive me, Father, because, I sinned. No, man, this is a daily thing that you have to have a conversation with the Most High, because the kingdom of God dwelleth in you. Not in some church, not in some camp. None of these camps ever will tell you how to repent. They'll tell you how to hate people. That's without a doubt. We all came out of these hateful ways. That's why I've told you, brothers and sisters, the fight is the mind, the spirit, and the flesh. And the flesh is the access to wickedness. The mind is kind of like a computer. You need to instruct it. And once your spirit gets stronger, the flesh is weak to the spirit. You'll be able to overcome that because now you got control of your mind. The flesh don't got control of your mind anymore. And this is what Paul is talking about. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man, the spiritual man. But I see another law in my members, the flesh, warring against the law of my mind, the thought, and bringing me into captivity, the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? The battle that he deals. Now, this is Romans. If you guys follow through, if you guys read Acts, you'll understand how Romans, Corinthians, Ephesians, Galatians, it's basically a picture, like a broader understanding of what was going on in Acts. Okay, so as you see Romans, Corinthians, it's just like he's starting to kind of go through this growth process. If you guys really see this the way it should be, you'll understand that Paul was even going through this growth process. It wasn't overnight. So stop doubting him if you don't understand him. This is why the Dunning-Kruger effect needs to be paid attention to. Sometimes stupid people don't know they're stupid. No offense to y'all. I'm just telling you to the best way that I can say it. So now let me go. I said I was going to go into it. So I got this message for you guys. Real quick. Because, matter of fact, you know what? Let me put it over. Let's see. Maybe I'll do it here. Okay. If we can get to it. All right. So now let's begin this understanding here. What is this whole Dunning-Kruger effect? Check this out. Okay. The Dunning-Kruger effect. It's kind of this is
with Asana.
This is the funny way to see it. It's kind of funny way to see it, right? But we'll get a little bit deeper into it. I'll show you a video. I'm trying to go fast on this, at least through the video, because it's 20 minutes. But there are some important things in that video that you should understand exactly what this means. Okay, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Check this.
I think the problem with people like this is that they are so stupid that they have no idea how stupid they are. You see, if you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very stupid? You'd have to be relatively intelligent to realize how stupid you are. There's a wonderful bit of research by a guy called David Dunning at Cornell, who's a friend of mine, I'm proud to say, who's pointed out that in order to know how good you are at something requires exactly the same skills as it does to be good at that thing in the first place, which means, and this is terribly funny, that if you're absolutely no good at something at all, then you lack exactly the skills that you need to know that you're absolutely no good at it. And this explains not just Hollywood, but almost the entirety of Fox News.
And I forgot that he said that part at the end of Fox News. It's pretty true, man. It's pretty true. All right, so let me speed this up here real quick. We're gonna listen to this for a little bit.
Have you ever felt like the more you think deeply, the more isolated you become?
Hey, shut up! Nobody told you to speak. Okay, so let me speed it up so we can get through it quick. And I'm gonna go to maybe a 3, 4 something around here, and then we'll skip it to this part here. Okay, and then we'll get into more stuff because this is I'm trying to make sure that you guys understand the limitations of people. The problem is not me, fam. When I tell these people what we find, I'm not the problem. They're the problem. They're stuck in their box. They think they're so smart that they don't realize that they don't even come close to it. Because if you are so-called intelligent, then you would accept when you're wrong. You would say, you know what, let me take a step back and analyze what you're saying. Because I think that's important. A lot of times, these people here at the same time is that once they find a very good feeling, because the flesh is so dominant, they don't want to fall off that feeling. Because guess what? When somebody says to you, oh, you are the spirit, I'm sure you guys heard that before. If you were true to this, this belief, and you tried to, gather together with certain people, and they told you that, and you felt heavy. It felt heavy in your chest, like, oh, what if they're right? You started doubting yourself. So we understand that thought process. And see, this is where that lack of self-reflection, or I don't know what it is, fear maybe, of not knowing that you don't, or like knowing that you don't know at all, and that everything that you knew is 100% incorrect. What are you going to do with that? It takes a strong individual to accept that. A strong one. Man or woman, it doesn't matter. Both of them. Let's go.
Have you ever felt like the more you think deeply, the more isolated you become? That the more you understand, the less people want to listen? It's not just in your head. Society has always feared deep thinkers, not because they are wrong, but because they see what others don't want to. History proves it. From Socrates to Nietzsche, from Galileo to Tesla, brilliant minds have been ridiculed, silenced, or ignored, not because they lacked intelligence, but because they made people uncomfortable. Schopenhauer, one of the most brutally honest philosophers, believed that intelligence itself was a curse, one that isolates those who see the world too clearly. But why does this happen? Why does society resist those who think differently? The answer lies deep within human psychology. Think about this. When you stand next to someone who is physically strong, you don't necessarily feel weak. You admire their strength. When you meet someone who is rich, you might envy them, but you don't feel personally attacked. But when you encounter someone who is intellectually superior, something strange happens. Psychologists call this the mirror effect. A deep thinker does not just introduce new ideas, they reflect back the limitations of those around them. And
You see that? Let me go.
And people effect.
A deep thinker, right?
Deep thinker does not just introduce new ideas, they reflect back the limitations of those around them.
And I'm not saying I'm some intelligent guy, not at all, man. I've never, ever thought I was smarter than anybody else, bro. I just, I'm able to catch things, and that's great, and, I'll place the most high. But here we see that it's not my fault. I'm not the problem. They're the problem. You see what I'm saying? Volta and all these other people that show up, I'm not the problem. I'm not the one setting limitations in you. You're the one setting limitations in yourself. Because guess what? We, at least the brothers I spoke with, we went through this experience. It's like, shit, man. Are we these people, bro? Like, damn, they tell me like, I'm a conquistador. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to keep the commandments, and you know what I'm saying? They Fopi's over here saying all this negative shit about us and calling us, all kinds of names and shit. Like, I've had brothers tell me, like, bro, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm not an Israelite. You know what I mean? Like, because I have light skin. For real, bro. Very true. Ecclesiastes 1:18. Let me see if I can get it a little more simpler, and I'll go back to it. The wiser you are, the more worries you have. The more you know, the more it hurts. It's true. Let's go back to it. This is perfect. For in much wisdom is much grief. And he that increases knowledge increases sorrow. Because guess what? I lost friends. I sincerely lost friends. That's the truth. I started separating myself from things. I don't celebrate none of these holidays. So obviously family, like, I haven't seen some of them in like, 8 years. Like, seriously. So I'm not the problem. Because you know what? I don't know everything. I'm thankful to fucking accept the fact that I don't know everything, man. I always say to people, I'd rather know the truth than sit on a lie. I'd rather know the truth than sit on a lie. And if I don't know about something, I'll let you know. Nah, I don't know about that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about that shit. There's nothing wrong with not knowing, man. It's totally fine. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not the problem, family. Neither are you. They're the problem. They don't know that they don't know.
But when you encounter someone who is intellectually superior, something strange happens. Psychologists call this the mirror effect. A deep thinker does not just introduce new ideas, they reflect back the limitations of those around them. And people don't forgive that easily. The mere presence of
I tested an AI
of someone who thinks deeply can make others feel inadequate, even if the deep thinker says nothing at all. But why does this happen? Why does intelligence, more than any other kind of superiority, provoke such discomfort? To understand this, let's consider how our minds process different forms of superiority. When someone is physically stronger, we might see them as a leader or protector. When someone is wealthier, we might admire their success or aspire to achieve something similar. These qualities, strength, wealth, beauty, are external. We recognize them, but they don't necessarily challenge our core self-perception. However, intelligence operates differently. Unlike physical strength or material wealth, intelligence is deeply tied to identity. We define
You see that? Now let me show you this picture.
our
Family.
operates differently.
I told a couple brothers this, man, that I don't know. I've told a couple. I can't remember who, but I've told you guys that sometimes, like, this is where my mind is at, man. I'm surrounded by words. Like, I wish I had that much material. I can't afford all that. But this is where my mind is right now. Like, I literally see like words going around in circles, and I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the best that I can explain it. Because I guess it's the best way that I can, what's the word I'm looking for? Manage it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, deal with it. Because sometimes, man, my mind runs so freaking fast that I need a break. But anyhow, let me continue. My bad.
Unlike physical strength or material wealth, intelligence is deeply tied to identity. We define ourselves by our thoughts, our beliefs, our understanding of the world. When we meet someone who thinks on a deeper level, someone who questions what we take for granted, it can feel like a direct attack on our sense of self.
You see, that's what I'm saying, family. Because when I started bringing these things out, like, even within my own little group that I used to hang out with, man, like, they fucking hate it. Like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. No. You're just, you're a hater. You're just upset. You're bitter. Then they called me racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what occurred. And I was like, nah, bro, I just don't want to be set in this box. Like, I'm finding this shit. Are you telling me this shit is not real? So I'm just supposed to ignore it? Like, it didn't happen? Like, I didn't read it? And then I'm like, wait a minute, but if I found it and you guys are supposedly scholars, and I'm assuming you guys should be better than me, how come you didn't say nothing about it? And then the trust issue. You see, one thing with me is, man, once I lose trust with you, oh shit, all hell breaks loose on that point. I don't ever want to talk to you. I don't ever want to deal with you. Man, if I ever see you, I will let you know. Trust is so important, man. You like, listen, you have your word. Like, you have your word. That's all you have. You know what I mean? Like, Proverbs 3:35. Hopefully this goes with what I'm saying. The wise shall inherit glory, but the shame shall be promotions of fools. Yeah. I will say this, that this promotion is basically within that box of belief. Like, no. The white man did this, and the white man did that, and we have nothing to do with it. And like, no, man, no. Like, seriously, step back for a moment and like fucking look at what we're finding. I mean, you guys are more willing to believe that Africans were originated here in America than the fucking material that we show you. The material that says supposedly black folks were here originally is so slim, so thin. But then we bring up and say, yo, we had negro conquistadors. Like, oh, no, that's not true. It was just a few. And you know what? Natives enslaved people too. We're not the problem, family. They are.
Instead of admiring intelligence, many people subconsciously resist it, not because the deep thinker is arrogant or dismissive, but because their very presence forces others to confront their own limitations.
I went to this app called Clubhouse the other day. I told some of you guys, and I found some of the little purple and church people together and shit. And I clicked the link. I go and ask for, I raise my hand. They bring me up. It's an app where you can talk, right? It's not like TikTok. You just can talk. And I went in there and I started asking questions. The first thing I said is, like, when did so-called black folks get a spot box in America? Oh, that shit fucking, like, that thing moved the whole room, bro. Because then I try to go to a verse, Deuteronomy 28:22, to explain it, and that's where they cut me off halfway. I wish I would have recorded it. It would have been nice. And the funny thing is this: somebody from that school recognized me. Are you Emmanuel? Because that's what they named me, right? Are you Emmanuel? And I'm thinking, man, I haven't been around you guys for more than 3 years, bro. How the fuck do you remember my voice? So, brother said to me, hey, man, you were either very impactful to them or they watch you. So I'll say this. I don't think they watch me. Because I do know what I was doing there. I do know. And I'm not going to boast about what I was doing there. So more than anything, that's why. Because there was nobody, I'll just say this, there was nobody in there that was bringing out as much history as I was finding. And it wasn't even necessarily, as a matter of fact, some of the books that I have, were saying these things in there later on as I read them. Little did I know that I was basically telling them, yo, you're going to find out who you are. You're going to find out who you truly are. Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. Let's get it real quick. It says here, then further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books, there is no end. And much study, there is weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. You see this? So in this particular case, it is very true. It is very true that if you go into all these types of materials and you're not well rooted, it's going to be weak in your flesh. You're going to give up. You're going to quit. You're going to doubt yourself. And then that's it. We've seen some examples of certain people that have this certain channels, and now they erased all their videos, bro. I don't even know what he's going to do. So before you go further in many, many, many books, what's the first thing that you got to do? Fear God and keep his commandments. First Peter 2 and 1, wherefore laying aside all malice, all guile, all hypocrisies and envies and evil speaking. We all have these. Fear God. This is what it means by fearing the Creator. By getting rid of that. By fearing the Most High, it means you have respect and you have discipline and you're willing to get rid of these, because by getting rid of these, that means you're keeping the commandments. It's not difficult. You know what I'm saying? It's not difficult. Get rid of malice, guile, hypocrisy, envy, and evil speaking, and you're keeping the laws of the Most High. It's not complicated. As newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. That's why it says, fear the Most High. That's the most important thing before you get into anything else, because it's true. If you stretch it too far, then you're going to end up thinking you know everything and you don't know shit.
This is why, throughout history, deep thinkers have been pushed to the fringes of society. Their insights don't just challenge ideas, they challenge egos. And human beings by nature will do almost anything to protect their ego from discomfort. Take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever tried to introduce a deep or complex idea in a casual conversation, only to be met with blank stares or awkward silence? Have you ever noticed how people quickly shift topics when discussions move beyond surface-level chatter? This is not just coincidence, it's a defense mechanism. When people encounter a deep thinker, their mind goes into self-preservation mode. Instead of being curious, they resist.
And that's why I'm not the problem. Either are you. We're not the problem, family. They're the problem. They're the ones that have limitations. They're not willing to listen. Listen, if you guys really are so-called the people of the book, you should have let me speak. Because that's somebody that said, as a matter of fact, one of the people that was listening to that Clubhouse thing, they even said to them, hey, bro, why don't you let the brother speak, man? I'm kind of interested in what he's saying. After that, they even got more like livid, like, blah, 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 get out of here. They blocked me off. I kept posting stuff. And I said, when did you guys eat grasshoppers here in the Americas? And then they booted me out the entire thing. Like, out. It's not our problem, family. It's theirs now.
Instead of engaging, they dismiss. This is why intellectuals, philosophers, and visionaries often find themselves isolated, not because they want to be alone, but because society pushes them away. Interestingly, studies show that confidence is often valued more than intelligence in social settings. This explains why
The truth is,
now we're going to get into the Dunning-Kruger effect. So you can see exactly who creates these limitations for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, who creates these things? Not I. That's why I always say, be ready to reset every single day. Reset. Examine yourself if you're in the faith. Examine yourself. Make sure that you're not dealing with some wicked ass spirit, because that spirit will make you believe wicked shit. We just read several verses that actually say that. It's going to play with your mind if your flesh is weak. If your spirit is weak, then guess what? Matter of fact, there's a scripture. Hold on, no. Let me see if I can find it. It came to my mind. Let me see. I think it says, I don't know if it's this one. Let's see. Hold on a second. So that's actually a good point, right? But I don't want to necessarily do that just yet. Let me see. I know, compare with the word right now will take away. I have not gone. I think maybe it's in Sirach. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me see. Oh, here goes. Sirach 36:25. Listen to this, okay? And this is the hedge, meaning like, like a fence. Where there is no, Sirach 36:25, where there is no hedge, where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. You see this? Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. Now, don't be confused with these words. And look them up too. Hedge means a fence, boundary, formed by closely growing bushes or shrubs, right? So if you don't have a hedge around your spirit, then guess what's going to happen? If your flesh is weak and your mind is not programmed by the spirit, guess what? And your spirit doesn't have a hedge, man. It's destruction. This book is deep, family. And we don't need no crazy ass esoteric understandings or nothing. All we got to do is just follow the commandments, examine yourself consistently, and start working on chopping down every single thing that's overcame you. And slowly and surely, if you're dealing with still eating pork and all that nasty shit, get rid of it. I haven't eaten pork, shrimp, or lobster, or none of that stuff in more than 8 years now. Because that is correct, fam. Those animals, listen, I'm a saltwater fanatic. You know what I'm saying? Like the way the system works is I'll say it real quick. You start a saltwater tank, right? Just basic. First thing you got to do to make sure that the cycling begins is after you set up the tank is you get copepods, little tiny miniature, little, animals, marine animals, right? They're the ones that start the cycle. Okay. After them, you got to get what they call the cleanup crew. Those are the crabs, the little, hermit crabs, the oysters, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say the sea, the lobster. So when you eat those animals, you're eating the shit of these animals. The same thing with pork. The same thing with those things. So you see how it's very simple and just clear as day? There's an important connection between the mind, the flesh, and the spirit, man. All right. So again, we're talking about the Dunning-Kruger effect. Let's not get lost. Because again, if you limit yourself and you don't want to hear, and you're not even willing to at least say, you know what, let me take in consideration what he's saying and see if I, let me discern it myself. And if I'm lying to you, well, then, hey, you're going to call me out. I have not lied to any one of y'all. Since I started this channel, I have never lied. I told you what was going to happen with Wabos. I told you what was going to happen with BHIs. I told you how they were going to start blending them both together. And we're seeing to this day. And I said, they're all going to turn on you, gente. I'm telling you right now, they're going to turn on you. And then I said to y'all, don't vote because they're going to turn on you too. And guess what, man? I have not lied to y'all. Let's go.
Conversations in private settings, but struggle to engage in large social environments. Psychologists have identified several cognitive biases that further explain why intelligence is often met with resistance. The Dunning-Kruger effect. People with low ability often overestimate their intelligence, while highly intelligent people tend to doubt themselves. This creates friction. Those who know little often believe they know more than they do, leading them to dismiss deeper thinkers. Status quo. Bias. The human brain prefers familiar ideas over new, complex truths. Intelligence often...
Let's listen to this again, okay? Because I'm not the problem, family. They're their own problem. We're not the problem. They are their own limitations. If they're not willing to listen to what you got to say about what we find, and they say you're a conquistador, it don't matter, then guess what? You're not the problem. Don't get mad no more. Don't get mad no more. Oh, let them be, bro. Again, listen, all that shows is who are the people of the Bible. That's what that matters to me. Hate, bro, listen, hate will always destroy itself, man. That's one thing I've learned in life. Hate always destroys itself.
Intelligent people tend to doubt themselves. This creates friction. Those who know little often believe they know more than they do, leading them to dismiss deeper thinkers. Status quo. Bias. The human brain prefers familiar ideas over new, complex truths. Intelligence often introduces disruptive thoughts, which make people uncomfortable. The backfire effect. When people are confronted...
My boyfriend and I have been arguing
with information that contradicts their beliefs, they don't change their minds. They double down on their existing views.
And we've seen that. We've seen this happen.
Confronted with Intelligence often introduces disruptive thoughts, which make people uncomfortable. The backfire effect. When people are confronted with information that contradicts their beliefs, they don't change their minds. They double down on their existing views.
You see, and I'm telling you, this is what's happening right now. We're bringing out real facts. Who brought smallpox to America? There was Negro conquistadors. You guys were never our friends. No, we're not the same people. And all of a sudden, they're bothered by it. You believe something for so long, for such a long time, that you don't even, you can't even wrap your mind around the fact that you guys were Negro colonizers, just like white colonizers. That there was white slavers, just like Negro slavers. You guys can't wrap your mind around that. That's not my fault. That's your fault.
Deep thinkers often face this reaction when they introduce challenging ideas. In the digital age, social media has amplified this rejection of intelligence. Algorithms prioritize engagement over depth, meaning that controversial, emotionally charged content spreads faster than thoughtful, well-reasoned arguments. Take a look at the most viral content. Simple, catchy, and often misleading soundbites outperform nuanced discussions.
Very true. So let's move on. Let's move on. And once again, here, just for the sake of jokes, listen to it again, all right? I'm going to speed it up. Hey, hold on a second. This goes for you, Wobbles. This goes for you.
Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
Sorry, Rich. I know it's not very professional. I still got to be me, bro. Let's go.
I think the problem with people like this is that they are so stupid that they have no idea how stupid they are. You see, if you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very stupid? You'd have to be relatively intelligent to realize how stupid you are. There's a wonderful bit of research by a guy called David Dunning at Cornell, who's a friend of mine, I'm proud to say, who's pointed out that in order to know how good you are at something requires exactly the same skills as it does to be good at that thing in the first place, which means, and this is terribly funny, that if you're absolutely no good at something at all, then you lack exactly the skills that you need to know that you're absolutely no good at it.
About that is like that you don't know you suck that bad and you're that dumb that you don't even know that you suck that bad and why you suck that bad. This is crazy, man. This is so funny.
And this explains not just Hollywood, but almost the entirety of Fox News.
Oh, this is fucking funny. As a matter of fact, let me leave it up just in case I need it. Let's go to verses now. Let's go to it real quick. Hold on. I gotta cover this madness. Bro. Isaiah 35, and again, I'm basically trying to do, what's the word I'm looking for? I like to set things up before I get into the action. You know what I mean? I'm a long-winded man. I go long ways. Like, I don't do short shit. Like, I take my time. Isaiah 35 and 1 says, the wilderness and the I'm sorry, is that the one? Am I looking for that? Let me see. Yeah, let me read it. I'll read it this way, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. 35 and 1, Isaiah. The desert will rejoice. The flowers will bloom in the wastelands. Now, this isn't talking about physical desert, family. The desert will sing and shout for joy. It will be as beautiful as Lebanon's mountain and as fertile as the fields of Carmel and Sharon. Everyone will see the Lord's splendor, see his greatness and power. Give strength to the hands that are tired and to the knees that tremble in weakness. Because I don't know about you guys, man, but I hate seeing what's going on to our people. Separations of families, the trauma and shit. I have kids, you know. I can't imagine me going through that with my parents. Like, y'all would have created a fucking crazy ass dude. Tell everyone who is discouraged, be strong and don't be afraid. God is coming to your rescue, coming to punish your enemy. Wisdom of Solomon 18:7 says that you have to accept salvation for your people and destruction for the enemy. You can't have it either way. Just like you can't have faith without works. You need them both. You can't be like, oh, you know, I want salvation for our people, pobrecitos enemigos. No, it don't work like that. You'll get destroyed by thinking that. That's why, you know, Lot's wife, when she turned back and shit, she got done with. Any doubt in your mind, it's very, like, listen, it's black and white. Okay? Very simple. You're either pregnant or you're not. You ain't half-ass pregnant. It's just the way things are. The blind will be able to see, and the deaf will hear. Remember, how long did they keep this book away from us, family? How long?
Oh, that's gonna hurt! A ver, que alguien me explique.
That's right.
How long did they keep this book away from us? The blind will be able to see. How long were they telling us we couldn't read and write? We couldn't learn none of this stuff. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on a second. Let me see. It's page 9. Let me see if I can find it. Check this out. This is from the Mysteries of Mexican Pyramids, okay? Remember what we just read. This is from the Mexican Pyramids, page 16, sorry. As land was stolen from the natives, great famine ensued, yet heavy taxes were laid on Indians. Those who failed to pay were tortured to death. Indians who refused to join the Catholic Church were horsewhipped, had their heads shaved, and were forbidden to hold office or title in their villages, or for failing to attend mass or for practicing any old rites. An Indian could receive 100 lashes. Listen to this. According to the Spaniards, which they weren't just güeros, they were negros too, Indians were supposed to know only the Our Father, Ave Maria, Credo, and 10 Commandments. Reading and writing were considered as dangerous as the devil. Isaiah 35:5 says this: the blind will be able to see, and the deaf will hear, meaning you'll see the words, and your spirit will hear what it means. Your spirit will strengthen its memory. It'll start like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Those words sound familiar. I've heard that before. A great example, bro. Speaking of Lot's wife, it reminds me of how they're clinging to this country, still thinking everyone else is the bad. Yeah. Clinging to the country like they don't want to let go. It's it. Finito. It's over. You see, as we're getting ready, like, hey, we're getting ready. Spiritually, mentally, you know what I'm saying? If that shit hits the fan, like, we're getting ready spiritually and mentally. Because you need that in that type of situation, spiritually and mentally. Because you can be like, oh, I'm mentally ready. But if you're spiritually weak, bro, you're done. Verse 6, the lame will leap and dance, and those who cannot speak will shout for joy. We're going to see some shit pretty soon. Streams of water will flow through the desert, meaning that what? The desolate places will start hearing the word the proper way, and will start springing the spirit of the Israelites of the Bible. The burning sand will become a lake, and the dry land will be filled with springs. Where jackals used to live, marshes, grass, and reeds will grow. You see that? Jackals. Who's living here right now? Who are being jackals against our people? There will be a highway there called the road of holiness. No sinner will ever travel that road. No fool will mislead those who follow it. Meaning what? And this talks about no sinner, meaning just like 2 Ezra 16:77 says, like, man, you that leave thorns and nettles behind on your path and you don't fucking cleanse that shit, you don't clean it up, like you don't really change, bro. Guess what? No sinner will travel that road. No fool will mislead those who follow it. That's why I tell you guys, man, the kingdom of God dwelleth in you. But the only way you got to get to know him is how you get to know yourself. If you don't know who you are, then guess what? You don't even have any close relationship with the Creator. No lions will be there. No fierce animals will pass that way. Those whom the Lord has rescued will travel home by that road. You see, it's a path. The path of the righteous man and righteous woman. They will reach Jerusalem with gladness, singing and shouting for joy. They will be happy forever, forever free from sorrow and grief. I think those are self-explanatory, man. I don't think that's complicated at all. Isaiah chapter 52, verse 1 and 2 says, Jerusalem, be strong and great again, holy city of God. Clothe yourself with splendor. And in Sirach 6:23 through 29, it talks about the splendor. Clothe yourself. The heathen will never enter your gates again. You see this right here? When you clothe yourself with the splendor, their ways, their methodical process will never again enter your mind. It'll never, ever deal with your spirit. This is why these people bounce off my shoulders, family. I mean, that's my only explanation. I keep telling them, bro, I'm right here. Let me know when you're ready. Shake yourself free. Dust yourself off. They just fall off my shoulders, fam. No big deal. Rise from the dust and sit on the throne. Onto the chains that bind you, captive people of Zion. You see, this is interesting. Right here. Clothed, chains. When you guys get a chance, okay, read this verse right here. Read this chapter right here. Sirach 6:23 talks about bowing yourself. Now here, look, I'll just read this verse and then I'll skip it. Sirach 6:24, and put thy 23, give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel, and put thy feet into her feathers, meaning wisdom, meaning chains, shackles, and thy neck into her chains. You see that? Bow down thy shoulders and bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds, meaning, you know what I'm saying? Discipline. Now check this out. Let's see. I'll go here. Verse 29. You guys need to read this. Then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory. You see what I mean? For there is a golden ornament upon her. The fetters, what used to shackle you, are going to be your strength. And the wisdom will be the chain of a robe of glory. Isaiah 52:1. I'll go to 2. Shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughters of Zion. Shake yourself free, rise, Jerusalem, rise from the dust and sit upon the throne. Verse 1, Jerusalem, be strong and great, a holy city of God, clothe yourself with splendor. Remember, it talks about that when you follow the ways of our Creator, then He deals with you. If you don't, then He won't. Let me show you something real quick. What is that? What do you mean? What the hell is that? Oh, I don't remember. Let me see if I can go back. Maybe I missed something. I put some notes in here. For some reason, I put this note. Maybe I need to go up here. Nah, it'll come through. It's all good. I moved it. It's all good. So let's start with this again. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 12 talks about something very interesting, okay? It says here, And the Lord have removed men far away, and there will be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. But yet in it shall be a tenth, and it shall return. See that? He's talking about the destruction of Israel. Isaiah's commission from the Lord, what's going to happen to the people, right? It says here that He's going to remove us from like very far, okay? And there be a great forsaken in the midst of the land, and in that land, but yet in it shall be a tenth, and it shall return. Now keep in mind that when we got smallpox and it decimated our people, it supposedly, I don't know, that's what the history says, that it was almost like 10% left of the gente. I will send the people far away and make the whole land desolate. You see that? I will send the people far away, get rid of us, and make the whole land desolate. Even if one person out of 10 remains in the land, he too will be destroyed. He will be like the stump of an oak tree that has been cut down. The stump represents a new beginning of God's people. You see that? So there's still a remnant left after these things occur, in case you guys don't understand that shit. So once again, let not the Dunning-Kruger effect affect you. Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 27, because you guys are always quick to tell me that, well, not all the, curses happen at once. Okay. 28:27, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against His land to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation and cast them into another land, as it is this day. So it says here that all the curses would happen to you. Canaan, Deuteronomy 28:22. When did negros in the Americas die from smallpox?
A ver, que alguien me explique.
Deuteronomy 28:22. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption and with a fever and with inflammation and with an extreme burning. When did that happen to you guys here? And with the sword and with the blasting, with the mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. Now, the idiot at the purple and gold told me, well, it says that you guys will perish. So if that's the case, then Israelites shouldn't be here. You see what I'm saying? He just literally smashed his own fucking theology, bro. You guys are stupid. You see? And again, it goes back to this right here, man. I'm going to keep playing it, family, because you know what, dude? This is so fucking funny. The guy literally told me, well, if you guys died of smallpox, then that means you would diminish. But you just said that the Israelites would get smallpox too.
I think the problem with people like this is that they are so stupid that they have no idea how stupid they are. You see, if you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very stupid? You'd have to be relatively intelligent to realize how stupid you are. There's a wonderful bit of research by a guy called David Dunning at Cornell, who's a friend of mine, I'm proud to say, who's pointed out that in order to know how good you are at something requires exactly the same skills as it does to be good at that thing in the first place, which means, and this is very funny, that if you're absolutely no good at something at all, then you lack exactly the skills that you need to know that you're absolutely no good at it. And this explains not just Hollywood, but almost the entirety of Fox News.
Glad that I am glad I saved that because you know what I'm saying. I'm glad I saved that. Psalms 3:8. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessings be on your people. Salah. That's good, bro. I'm glad I lifted it up. I'm glad I left it here because I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna come back to it probably a few times. I don't. You know what? It's just I'm not the problem. You guys are the problem. You guys are the weakness. You guys are the simple-minded. I'm not the problem. You know what I'm saying? Job 2:7 says, so went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with the sword boils from the soles of his foot unto his crown. When did that happen to you, Negroes or African Americans, quote unquote, here in the Americas? Please, somebody.
Que alguien me explique.
Can you please tell me? Let's continue with this. So then, he also said something about carcasses, right? Deuteronomy 28:26. Sorry, it says, and thy carcasses shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. So when did this happen to black folks here in the Americas? So the white man supposedly brought you over here, and all of a sudden now that your carcasses shall be meat unto the fowls of the air and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. When did that happen here to you guys? See, this is where that whole Kruger effect comes in. When I challenge your supposedly intellect, instead of saying, let me listen to what you're trying to say and come back to it, no, you attack it because you have no answer. At all. No answer at all. So now let me show you something historical. Because, you know, history says that it did happen to us. That's what history says, that it did happen to us. Let me go to page 79. Oh, shit. Page 79. Let me see. 79. Okay. Again, we just read something important, right? This is on page 79 of a book called American Holocaust, Columbus and the Conquerors of the New World. I'll start here. They no longer had, hold on a second. I'll start here. They no longer had, let me see, sorry, I'm trying to help you guys out here. I'll start here. It says, they no longer had nor could find any arrows, javelins, or stones with which to attack us. More than 40,000 were killed in a single day. And so loud was the wailing of the women and children that there was not one man amongst us whose heart did not bleed at the sound. These were black and white colonizers, Negro colonizers, white, blanc colonizers, Swati colonizers, people with afros, people with straight hair, people with blonde hair, people with curls. Those are facts. I'm not the problem. You are the fucking problem. Indeed, because we could no longer endure the stench of the dead bodies that had laid in those streets for many days, which was the most loathsome thing in the world. You understand what we just read right now? What we just read? Deuteronomy 28:26, and thy carcasses shall be meat unto all fowls of the air and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Bro, they left us there for dead. For dead. Verse 27, and the Lord shall smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou cannot be healed. African Americans, when did this happen to you guys? Here in the Americas. When were you dying of smallpox, and when were you being killed so much here in these lands that your carcasses like totally disappeared? Because this is the Dunning-Kruger effect. You guys thought you knew what you thought you knew. You don't know shit. And now it's the problem. And now I'm the problem. You guys want to stay in your little echo chamber? By all means, please do. We're not here to help y'all, man. You guys need to figure it out yourselves. Again, I'm not the problem. Neither are we. You guys are the problem. When did this happen to African Americans here? When? Tell me when, please. I'd love to know. I'd love to know. And if I'm wrong, then fuck it. I'll correct it. I'll make sure that I know. When were your oxen taken away as you came here to these lands? What fruit of your land did they take from you? What king, right, did they supposedly, you know what I'm saying, like completely destroy? Now, here's where it's interesting. Unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. If you guys ruled Europe, you knew the white man. Verse 60. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. When, again, this confirms, and especially Deuteronomy 29 completely tells you that all these curses will come upon you. Deuteronomy 29:27, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against the land, against this land, to bring upon it all, not some, not a few, not some like ridiculous, a little percentage. All the curses that are in Deuteronomy 28. What happened to you, Negroes? When did you get smallpox? You're not on timeout. You're not on timeout. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Go ahead, man. There's a link. Go ahead and defend yourselves. Tell us when Negroes got smallpox in the Americas. Give us some sources. Let's start with that. If we can move on from that, then we can move on to other verses. Go ahead. Because this is not my main topic. I'm just going through my notes. I just take my time. Go ahead. If you believe this is an echo chamber, go ahead. Let us know. Crack the echo chamber. And let me know when Negros like you got smallpox here in the Americas and were decimated and left as carcasses to match the scriptures, because you're supposed to match those scriptures if you claim to be Hebrews. If you don't claim to be anything, if you claim to be something else, then we got nothing to talk about. But if you claim to be a Hebrew, when did this occur? Botches of Egypt, right? Decimation by the sword. By the way, it says you're here. The sword also, will destroy you and shit. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff, right? And then it says that after this, you're going to be left like carcasses, and no man's going to be able to fray these things away. When did that happen to you guys? Verse 22 says that right here. The sword, the blasting, and all that stuff, right? Then you'll get arrested, right? then you realize that everything that you worked for, it's done, it's over with. And you're going to start running away because they're going to start chopping you in pieces, right? And then because of all these killings, there are going to be carcasses left out of all the killings. And then after that, he's still going to get you sick. And after you see all of this stuff, after you physically see all of this, your mind's going to go fucking nuts. Now, the mind going crazy, it's, it happens to almost everybody. But again, when did they? Let's see, look. This is, you brought it over with that, oh God. Wow. You see, fam? So in order for him to avoid the question, then he says that I brought it. And you know what? I tell you what, if I brought it, then I'll pay for it. But we're seeing that you negros, pinches africanos cochinos, los cochinitos de Africa, you guys brought these shits over here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all brought this shit over here. You trying to say that, oh, I want beef? Bro, that's stupid, dog. But it's all good, man. That just shows, again, the Dunning-Kruger effect. You don't, here, I'll show you. Here's your problem. Here's your problem. And I'm going to keep playing it, bro, for simpletons like you.
The problem with people like this is that they are so stupid that they have no idea how stupid they are. You see, if you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very stupid? You'd have to be relatively intelligent to realize how stupid you are. There's a wonderful bit of research by a guy called David Dunning at Cornell, who's a friend of mine, I'm proud to say, who's pointed out that in order to know how good you are at something requires exactly the same skills as it does to be good at that thing in the first place, which means, and this is very funny, that if you're absolutely no good at something at all, then you lack exactly the skills that you need to know that you're absolutely no good at it. And this explains not just
Volta is just he don't know that he's that stupid, bro. That's for real. He's back. Like, he don't know that his actions are this stupid, but he thinks he's intelligent by doing this. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
You cannot fix stupid. Stupid is what stupid does, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the Dunning-Kruger effect. And he's trying to tell me some shit about some shit. Hey, straight up. Hey, matter of fact, you know what, Job? If you want, so I don't get in the way, Job or whoever wants to talk to him, I'll let y'all talk to him. How about we do that, Volta? Volta, how about we do this? I'll sit back, right? And you guys debate between each other. And you prove to us that smallpox was not brought by the black man. And whoever comes on will prove to you that it was brought by you, dirty bastards. With all due respect. Let me know. He won't. He's scared. He's scared. It's okay, man. Help the algorithm. Proverbs 24:17. You know what? I'll tell you what. You're here, so you must like this shit, man. So you keep learning. Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth. That's true. That there's a difference between this and saying accepting salvation for your people and destruction for the enemy. That means you don't wish destruction upon them. You just know that when it happens, it's going to happen. There it goes, bro. Look at that. Let's do it. Ooh. Come on, Volta. What are you scared of, bro? If you're defending your so-called, people and shit, if you think you're an Israelite, well, I got a brother here that says he's an Israelite. I'll sit back. I won't even get involved, bro. I'll pause my class just to see this situation happen because I think you'll get destroyed. Be revealed or whoever wants to come on, Warakuya, it doesn't matter to me. But I'll tell you this, Volta, let me know when you're ready. Because the link is there. Yeah, let it go, bro. Let it go. I mean, you should. Matter of fact, you should have expected this. You've been watching this channel since 2022, bro. You should have expected this shit. No, they did not. Here, you want me to show you, man? Oh God, this gets old. Apparently, they want me to show them. There we go. Black people brought fucking smallpox, you dirty bastard. Shut up, man. Stop lying to this shit. Dude, I ain't gonna lie to my people no more, bro. Okay? I don't care what you say. Stupid people do what stupid things do, bro. Nobody's listening to your stupid ass anymore. Your shit is gone. I don't care what you say. In 1519, Juan Garrido, negro, like you, joined the Cortez expedition to the mainland. And in 1520, remember, not 1619, that fucking full-ass dumb story that the white man gave you and you guys still running with it, was one of the founding residents of Mexico City. You see this? One of the founding residents. So a black man helped the white man find or build the so-called new city of Mexico. You see that? You want that credit? By all means, Volta, take it. Take it. Garrido later wrote to the king that he was the first to have the inspiration to sow wheat here in the New Spain to see if it took. I did this and experimented at my own expense. Another first attributed to the African. Now listen, Volta, listen to this, man. Listen to this, because you're dumbass. You see, this is. I'm telling you, bro. Like this is why I am going to continue to remind you guys that. I mean, it's just I don't understand.
Hollywood, but almost the entirety of Hollywood. I think the problem with people like this is that they are so stupid that they have no idea how stupid they are.
You see what I'm saying? So let's continue with the thought process here, because you know what I'm saying? We're trying to get to the point. Another first attributed to an African in Mexico. See, so let me remind you this. So Juan Garrido attributed to was a big point in regards to creating or destroying all of our information in Mexico City, which is Tenochtitlan, right? So you Negroes had a lot of help. I'm sorry, you helped the white man in a lot of ways to destroy our city, right? Garrido Negro later wrote to the king that he was the first to have the inspiration to sow wheat here in New Spain and to see if it took. I did this and experimented at my own expense. So here we see that the Negro, like you, helped the white man, like you, destroy Tenochtitlan. Do you understand what this means? Don't be stupid now, Volta. Don't be stupid. Please do not close your mind. Don't get emotional. Just wait for a moment here. Another first attributed to an African in Mexico was the bringing of smallpox to the mainland.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Francisco de Aguilla, one of the black slaves on the Narvaez expedition in 1520, allegedly died of the disease soon after landing in Mexican coast. So guess what happened after this? Guess what happened? Which one is it at? Let me see if I can find it. Here it goes right here. Let me see if this is it. Let me see this. It's an old video. Hold on a second.
But many.
Oh, yeah, that one. No, that's a dumb one here. That was actually putting the notes wrong. Let me look for the book. Oh, here it goes, right here. Oh, shit, I forgot about this. So let me show you exactly how it functions here. Again, sometimes stupid people don't know they're stupid. I think it's in here. See if I can get it real quick. I'm going to show them something real quick, family. Give me a little moment. Unless I named it different. I think I named it different, actually. Oh, it's right here. Okay, so let me upload it here, because again, we prove all things here. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, so I remember now. No wonder I don't have it here in my files. Okay. So apparently, Telegram doesn't want me to upload it here. So let me get the PDF file so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Give me a second. on, man. What the hell? It's taking forever. It's all good. This is it. It's called A Voyage. To the river. Sierra Leone. Coast of Africa. Let me see if I can guide it. There it goes right here. So here we see, and we're just going to get to it real quick. On page 135. Okay. Because we prove all things here. Let me get rid of this real quick. Page 135. For the unlearned. Maybe you're willing to listen. Let's talk about sickle cell. Shut up. That's what your mama told you. She didn't tell you that she brought that shit over here. That's not my fault, bro. That's on you guys. The book is called A Voyage to Sierra Leone, to River Sierra Leone on the coast of Africa, containing an account of the trade and production of the country and the civil and religious customs and manners of the people. See? You guys weren't even keeping anything related to the Bible at that time. And that's another point. But it's in 1791. Okay, so now let's get to it. Check this out. It says, page 135, a capital white trader who had resided near for 30 years, right? Let me see if you guys can see it. Yeah, you guys can. A capital white trader who had resided near 30 years upon the coast and who is otherwise a man of sense told me very seriously that he once thought, as he supposed I did, but that he had seen so many surprising instances of their art that he could no longer doubt. In the accounts of the most uncivilized countries that we read of, we find the office of physicians is generally annexed to that of priests and conjurers, meaning that's what you guys did, right? But here it is carried on by old women, and the cures they perform are truly astonishing, particularly in the external wounds, by the use of simples which their woods and fields afford in abundance. The diseases, listen to this real quick, man. Don't let this Hamite fool you. Shut up, man. You're a Hamite. Just stop it. You're a Hamite. You're a Hamite, then you're gonna have to live with it. Don't get off the topic. Volta. Don't get off the topic. Don't listen, Hamite. Don't be stupid, bro. Stupid people, sometimes they don't realize how stupid they are. You understand what I'm saying? Stupid people don't realize how stupid they are sometimes, okay? So please stick to the topic. You said something about smallpox. I'm fucking answering your shit. All right, so stick to the topic. Don't lose your mind, bro. Don't lose your mind. Because you said something about black folks brought sickle cell. So I'm going to remind you, you Negroes didn't bring sickle cell only. You brought smallpox to America, and you decimated our people. The diseases they are most subject to are intermitting fevers and hydrocele. The latter is supposed to be caused by too frequent use of palm wine and excess of venereal, I guess, sexual encounters and shit. Venereal diseases is frequent. You see? Black folks. You guys have venereal diseases. It's frequent. It still happens to this day, I think. I don't know, man. You guys decide. I'm not the problem, you are. The venereal diseases is frequent, but never attended with those dreadful symptoms which too often accompany it in Europe. So, see, means like you guys get the same shit that Europeans get, but Europeans get it even worse because that's who it came from. You guys gave them these diseases. But they were already fucking around with you, okay? And it's always easily cured. Neither can they be convinced that it proceeded from impure coalition, I guess. The smallpox is an endemic, meaning local, okay? That only you guys deal with it, meaning you don't normally die from it. if it gets treated in time, you don't die from it, okay? But it's something that you guys brought. You didn't bring only sickle cell, which I'm glad you admitted it, because you know what I'm saying? At least now we know that you are 2 times that dirty. The smallpox is endemial, but it is not so frequent on the seacoast as it is in the interior country. So, smallpox. Here we see. Who brought smallpox to the Americas? Are we going to deny these facts now? Are we going to ignore these things? Let me show you something, family. I had a little chop it up with this little punk ass and shit, so I had to send him. So now that I have him, let me show you this quick. The visit of Narvaez left melancholy traces among the natives. That made it long remembered. A Negro in his suit brought with him smallpox. No, we don't. I call his ass out all the time. You guys like the white man because you believe the history that he gave you. You believe that 1619 is real. You believe the Willie Lynch letter is real. You believe that, that you guys suffered that horrible and shit. You actually believe that you guys didn't have slaves. Who the fuck loves the white man? You guys love the white man. You really believe his shit. He gave you the history and you ran with it. Now that we're bringing out facts, it's offensive to you. Who loves the white man? Howard, you guys love the white man. That's your vato, homie. That's your main dude right there. You guys believe the history that he gave you. We have Negro colonizers trying to tell us who we are, and we have white colonizers trying to tell us who we were. A Negro in his suite brought with him smallpox. The disease spread rapidly in that quarter of the country, and great numbers of Indian population soon fell victims to it. Conquistadors and pestilence. The Mexicans had never seen smallpox before and did not have even the European meager knowledge of how to deal with it. We read another book earlier, right now, regarding the Sierra Leone, how that's historical shit, and the Europeans had an understanding of how to deal with it, but they didn't bring it. You see what I'm saying? The Europeans dealt with it because it wasn't necessarily their disease. Smallpox came from the Negros as an endemic disease, meaning that's in their immune system. You guys have that shit like in you. The old soldier chronicler, Bernal Diaz del Castillo, called a negro a very black dose for Mexico. A very black dose for Mexico. You know what I'm saying? For it was because of him that the whole country was stricken with a great many deaths.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Again, I'm not the problem. You guys are the problem. These are facts. This is not like nonfiction shit. Like this is like, I'm saying, this is not fiction. This is fact shit. This is real shit. Probably several diseases were at work. Shortly after the retreat from the Tenochtitlan, Bernal Diaz immune to the smallpox because remember, they dealt with it back and forth, right? Like most of the Spaniards was very sick with fever and was vomiting blood. And see, this is all you got. This is all you got. This is all you got. You see what I'm saying, family? This is it. So he thinks that by saying this, right? Even though he considers that R1, stuff, right? But he ignores everything else that science actually proves. You guys are sad, bro. Again, hey, look, matter of fact, look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. And you too, Howard. You too, bro. It's not my fault, bro.
I think the problem with people like this is that they are so stupid that they have no idea how stupid they are. You see, if you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very stupid? You'd have to be relatively intelligent to realize how stupid you are. There's a wonderful bit of research by a guy called David Dunning at Cornell, who's a friend of mine, I'm proud to say, who's pointed out that in order to know how good you are at something requires exactly the same skills as it does to be good at that thing in the first place.
It's just the fact that they're just stupid, bro. I think that's what it is. You can't blame them for it. But again, we're proven here regarding smallpox. Because you guys said that supposedly, you know what I'm saying, that happened to you. I don't see how it did. And I'm still asking you. I'm still trying to wonder, like, when did that happen to you? When did you guys come to the Americas and get smallpox here and diminish and be left as carcasses here. When you let me know, and when you find it, you let me know. Hey, look. See, this is it. This is all they got, fam. This is just weakness. You're weak. You're weak, man. You have the chance to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. You're literally proving that the Edomites knew it was contagious and brought the slaves which were infected. Okay, biological war. You got to stop loving this. No, you guys are the Negro slave masters. We got Negro colonizers since the beginning of time, Howard. That's the problem with you, man. You're too stupid to realize that you're stupid. Negro colonizers came to the Americas. The white folks came to the Americas. You guys worked together, man. Matter of fact, one of your own people wrote a book about this stuff. He's the guy that keeps telling you guys are not Native Americans. There's absolutely hardly any blood of Native American in you. Most of you Negros are fucking white people. The majority of you have about 30 to 40% of white blood in you. You and Volta, you guys are the Negro colonizers of this land. You see, we don't love y'all, or we don't love the white man. We don't want nothing to do with neither one of you checkerboard motherfuckers, man. You know what I'm saying? All I'm trying to tell you is this. You guys are not the Israelites of the Bible. And if you are, prove it. There's the link. Show me. Show me. Yeah, man. It's like Charles Manson said, the black man is just like the white man, bro. They envy everything about the white man. They envy everything about him. We don't envy none of that shit, bro. We don't care about your life and shit. We're not used to your promiscuous way, bro. We're not used to your body counts and shit. None of your daughters, white and black, keep their virginity under 14 or 15. Like, most of them lose their virginity. You guys let them date and fuck around and do all kinds of crazy shit, bro. Come on, man. We're just different people. Different people. Different people. But once again, and remember, family, let's not lose track of this. See, this is how they like to, to ignore the facts. You guys claimed you're Israelites, okay? You guys claimed you're the Israelites. Here's the link. Stop posting like little bitches. Get on the line and bring some sources that say that you guys did get smallpox here in the Americas and you guys were decimated by those fucking diseases, right? And that is technically what happened to the Israelites. So see, that never happened to you guys. You didn't use y'all. Y'all worked together, bro. You guys worked together, like, seriously. You guys were like best fucking friends. And this is the thing about being stupid. See, like, that's why the topic is this, the Dunning-Kruger effect. You don't know that you don't know.
I think the problem with people like this is that they are so stupid that they have no idea how stupid they are. You see, if you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very stupid? You have to be.
You see, and Volta, none of this matters, bro. Again, I'm keeping asking you, bro, when the hell are you guys going to prove to us that you got smallpox? Let's start with that. I'm not even giving you a hard fucking question, dude. This is just like 1 or 2 verses of Deuteronomy 28. I'm just saying, bro, just show us where you actually, you know what I'm saying, when this happened to you here. And then I'll move on. If you can prove to me, Howard or Volta, that you guys did suffer from these curses and shit, you know what I'm saying, that you died from smallpox, you were like left few in numbers. If you can prove it to me, I will never teach that shit again. Prove it to me. Prove it to me. If I'm an Edomite, like a white guy that you guys say I am, right? You guys say I am. Well, then I will be easily defeated because supposedly you guys are the chosen, right? So then that means it shouldn't be hard. No, you don't understand. You don't understand. You guys literally signed up for this shit. I mean, I see, this is why, and hopefully you're asking sincere questions, because this is the problem with people. You're very quick to question, very quick to like wonder, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't understand that you guys came together with them, helped them in every single step of the way, made sure to teach us Christianity. I would advise you to read a book called The Maya Conquistadors. Let me show you something real quick. Watch this. It says here, this is from, what's his name? I'll come up with his name. So watch this real quick. It says, "It's surprising to many of us to note that not all the first Africans who assisted the Spanish and Portuguese came as slaves." You see this? "An untold number of free people of African descent, black conquistadors born in Africa or on the Iberian Peninsula," meaning, south of Europe, Spain, Portugal. You guys were dealing with each other for a long time, so there's no way that you guys could be the Israelites, because the book that says that the Israelites would get conquered by these people, treated like shit by these people. You wouldn't know their fathers, you wouldn't know their religion, you wouldn't know nothing about these people. You guys know each other. Also accompanied Spanish conquistadors such as Hernán Cortés and Ponce de León, two of the famed explorers of the vast region that would become modern Mexico and the western southern regions of the United States. And as we might expect, their exploits were just as heroic and just as problematic as those of their fellow conquistadors. But far more Africans came with the Spanish and the Portuguese, okay, as slaves, servants with varying degrees of freedom. So not everybody was a slave, so to speak, but they were more considered indentured servants. Attendants and armed adventurers were armed adventurers. While the number of African explorers is impossible to determine, they participated, meaning people like you and people like you. You guys participated, okay? Howard and Volta. You guys participated in almost every single place. List this out. While the number of African explorers it's impossible to determine, you guys participated in some way in virtually all of the Spanish expeditions in the New World in the 16th century. These black conquistadors, Negro colonizers, okay, set an example for the subsequent racial relations throughout the entire Spanish colonial experience. This is where you get that stupid picture book that you look like this and you look like that. They fucking created that crap. We don't trust y'all at all. Living their daily lives with degrees of complexity that rarely would be achieved by black men and women in the early English settlements in the Caribbean and North America. Indeed, wherever Spain set its flag of conquest in the Americas, Africans helped hold the pennant. See? It's not difficult to comprehend. It's very simple. It's very, very, very simple. Again, I'm not the problem. You guys are the problem. Let's continue.
Said that Zionism is white supremacy with a yarmulke on, and that it's nothing but Yiddish for Western colonization. So of course I got a bunch of replies trying to correct me, saying that it isn't white supremacy, it's Jewish supremacy. See, this is them activating the built-in blame shifting mechanism, which is the whole point. You're literally pointing to the yarmulke as the reason for all this.
That's the answer right there, Howard. That's the answer. Here, I'll show you something. Howard, this is why, bro. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. You probably don't understand these things. You know what I'm saying? You probably let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Which one is it? I think it's this one. Hold on, let me see. Which one? How does it go? Talmud? No. Is it this one? Or is it witchcraft? Yeah, there it goes. Watch this. No, not that one, dude. Oh my God. Let me see if I can remember, man. Hold on a second. Let's see. How does it go? Let's see. Magic, I think. Yeah, there you go, right here. Check it out. This is the root of your shit. Everything that you believe in, Howard. I know that you're from a 12 tribe chart camp. You believe that shit, right? Well, here's your originator. This is your papa. This is your daddy. Rabbi Matthews put a spell on you, motherfuckers. This is exactly what you guys... I'm going to let it play. It's 7 minutes. It gives me time to get a drink and chill out for a second, okay? Because I've been going about an hour and 50. I want to take a break. Because I was kind of rushing to get back. Check this out. Hey, Howard, listen, Howard. Listen. Most camps are finished, man. You didn't know that? Yeah. Sakari already blank. You can already see these. Matter of fact, we noticed, because, a lot of us did come out of these stupid things. They're not teaching in the streets as much as they used to. The spirit is dwindling. Here's why. Listen, pay attention, Howard, because if you really do want to make a difference for yourself, then guess what? Maybe it's time to reflect on some shit. What? PBS got a new show, got this show called Finding Your Roots, and damn near all these ninjas, I guess that's what you call them, are actually. It's funny, dude. Hey, I'll be real. Don't let me forget your video, okay? Because I'll forget. I'm gonna let it play. Listen to this, Howard. Listen to this. This is important, bro. Because if you're really serious about, you know what I'm saying, like you really want to know. Oh, you don't know about me, huh? Yeah, you don't know about me. Sakari ran. A lot of all these camps, they don't want nothing of it. Matter of fact, General Yohana knows about my channel. He came over here, didn't say shit, didn't say come to bite any of my people. He just said, shalom, shalom. The truth is in ISUPK. And he just left. That was it. That's the leader of ISUPK. Came to my channel to say that shit. They don't want nothing, bro. But I tell you what, if you really want me to, I will. Get me somebody that actually can prove me wrong. I would love to, bro. Let's go. Here's your heritage and here's your roots of Hamitic shit.
What's up, everybody? It's Killer B, the doggone witch finder general. You got a witch, I burn them up. Just look at y'all leader. Look at y'all Hebrew Israelite founder, Mr. Rabbi Matthews, practicing black magic. Putting that black magic on y'all. That's what got your heads all messed up, thinking y'all Israelite. Let me read this to y'all. Matthews' personal papers and the Sloanberg Library in New York includes 2 amulets of geometric design in Hebrew words borrowed in part from the 6th and 7th book of Moses. What's the 6th and 7th book of Moses? A book on witchcraft, how to perform black magic. These amulets offer a unparalleled, let me say this too, that book ain't written by no black people. That book was written in France by some white folk. These amulets offer a unparalleled view into the hidden transcript and the private settings where Rabbi Matthew performed the most secret, transformative rituals at the hidden heart of black Israelism. The square amulet in Matthew's personal papers was modified from second tablet of the Spirit of Fire found on page 16 of the 6th and 7th book of Moses. What makes the derivation of Matthew's diagram from the Lawrence diagram indisputable is the fact that de Lawrence had reproduced a calligraphic error in the Hebrew that Matthew has repeated. So basically, Matthew's bit off the damn book, right? That the Hebrews known for doing shit like that, biting off of something and using it for their own. The word at the bottom, ha-kak, meaning the power, has been miswritten. An errant vertical line closes the gap of the middle letters. See this here? I can skip y'all. I might share this one day. I might share this with y'all one day. The 2 amulets shed light on Matthew's esoteric theology, part of the secret knowledge at the heart of his black Israelite belief. Matthew wrote several phrases in the fractured Hebrew on the diagram, the top one of which can be translated, "Rise and give me good luck." Just below the median line of the Hebrew can be translated, "Within the 8th fire, you should give me life." And the bottom line may read either, "The 8th God should be my father," or "The 8th God, my father." At the simplest level, the diagram appears to be a good luck charm. But at the higher level, the omelet amplifies and expands on Matthew's theology. In later decades, Matthew taught that these were 7 spirits or elements of God and 12 heavens, which his daughter implicated in the congregational newspaper. Do you know how few of us, the black Jews, know that God is wind, water, fire, life, light, power, and mind? This is God, the 7 elements. Each one of these elements, all gods among themselves. But the creator of these, the one ruler of these, is the one and only. He is God. He is in us, out of us, and is all about us. And without him, we wouldn't exist. Without any one of these gods, we would not exist. Given that Matthew believed that the 7 elements of God, this diagram appeared to have been used to worship and invoke the power and presence of the supreme creator God. An 8th God who appears through the medium of fire. The repetition of the number 8, the image of the fire, and the personal filing relationship with God are noteworthy. Again, the amulet can be translated, rise and give me good luck. Within the 8th fire, you should give me life. The 8th God, my Father. Remember that Matthew began in the sanctified church. He may have borrowed the fiery conception of God from the common fire-baptized holiness Pentecostal conception of God. The multiple God elements in his theology, however, is what makes Matthew's creed most like the religion of the Black Atlantic. Moreover, the ritual use of these diagrams seem to have allowed Matthew to be filled with the presence of God and to relate to the Creator. God as a son relates to the Father. The second round amulet repeats and amplifies this scene in God's immanence and Matthew's own power. The diagram consists of several Hebrew sentences printed over a Magen David, literally a shield of David, as 6-pointed star, which is common Kabbalistic related. After some undecipherable words in the beginning of the papers, the sentence continues. Look, this nigga practicing black magic on you niggas. And y'all don't even know. And you ain't know. The coke practice black magic on your ass. And you ain't know. These niggas eating pork behind doors. And you ain't know.
Eating pork. Pinches puercos.
These niggas poking your wife in the back room. And y'all ain't know it. Half your elders like niggas. And you ain't know.
That's exactly the history and heritage where BHI roots comes from. What do you mean? IUIC, ISUPK, GMS, Sakari, or whatever that was. That's what it is, dude. Black Hebrew Israelites. They all believe that God was black, Jesus was black, and that anybody that supposedly is a Northern Kingdom, so-called Hispanic, so-called, right, that they used to be black, and then when the Messiah returned, they're going to be turned black with a fro and shit. It's just fucking ridiculous. Let's continue.
The reason for the occupation, the reason for the genocide, and I'm telling you that is exactly why they put the yarmulke on in the first place. But either you don't get it, or you don't want to get it, or you don't want anyone else. Where I said that Zionism is white supremacy with a yarmulke on, and that it's nothing but Yiddish for Western colonization. So of course I got a bunch of replies trying to correct me, saying that it isn't white supremacy, it's Jewish supremacy. See? This is them activating the built-in blame-shifting mechanism, which is the whole point. You're literally pointing to the yarmulke as the reason for all this, the reason for the occupation, the reason for the genocide. And I'm telling you that is exactly why they put the yarmulke on.
Howard, let them know, bro. Let them know. Go watch them. Enjoy their confabulation. Go ahead and enjoy it, and let them know that I'm here. Maybe they will. Maybe they will debate me. Finally, somebody will actually step up to the plate. I'll go to this shit too. I don't care. Let's go.
In the first place. But either you don't get it or you don't want to get it, or you don't want anyone else to get it. You know, you somehow want to exonerate the actual architects, the actual funders, promoters, arms providers, financiers, policymakers, and so on, who are in fact responsible for Zionism, who are responsible for the occupation, who are responsible for the genocide. Like, you're strangling me, but you put a sock puppet on your hand. And you want me to actually believe that you're not the one strangling me, it's the sock puppet. This is an insult to my intelligence. As if America has to be forced at gunpoint or under threat of Epstein blackmail to support occupation and genocide. The country literally founded on genocide. The country that wiped out the Native Americans, massacred Mexicans, massacred Filipinos, occupied Afghanistan for 20 years, still has occupation forces in Iraq, occupied and colonized Hawaii and Puerto Rico. What are you talking about?
About time that this brother finally says our fucking name. That history is so overlooked that he needs somebody like me to fucking say it the way I say it. And it had to be this way. I sometimes hate the fact that I was shown this information. When I asked the Most High that I'm ready to serve him, I didn't think he wanted this. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know this stuff before. You know what I'm saying? Like, our history was so secluded, man. Like, we didn't know anything about who we were. Yeah, Negroes aren't Israelites. Negroes aren't Israelites. I'll say it loud and proud. Negroes aren't Israelites. African Americans aren't Israelites. You guys are West Africans predominantly and of the tribe of Canaan. Howard, let me ask you a question, man, because, you know, I think you're an adult. Why would you want someone to debate your point of view? You're a man. Why wouldn't you debate your point of view? Why do you need someone else to argue with, to debate me to prove your point of view? You see what I'm saying, Howard? This is really weird to me because you said something like, I don't debate or whatever. I don't have the footage. Why don't you hit the link and debate me? If I'm nobody, like you said, I'm nobody. I don't debate nobody. I don't have no footage. Well, then you do it. You be my guest. You be the first one to prove me wrong that Negroes aren't Israelites. Yes, not at all. You guys are this right here. That's what you guys are. I mean, I don't understand. I don't ever go around telling people, hey, man, you should argue with that guy, you know, to prove my point. Like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Isn't it your point? Isn't it your belief? Shouldn't you stand on your belief? Shouldn't you stand ground on your belief? I don't do that, bro. So that, to me, that seemed weird, man. It seemed really weird. But let's continue.
America killed directly or indirectly 10 million civilians in my lifetime, in Central America, South America, Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and so on. Now you pretend like they have to be forced against their will, against their character, to support the occupation of Palestine and the genocide in Gaza. This is their character. That yarmulke is only on there for plausible deniability.
Khazars and these other Edomites over here, there's the sons of Esau. They're the one and the same, bro. Just don't even fucking believe that. Oh, you know, they're Khazar. Nah, man, some amazing way. They're the same fucking shit. Let's continue.
You'll say, oh yeah, but the Jews impose apartheid and segregation and unequal rights. Oh, you mean like every Western colonial project ever? So do you see why?
He probably went to 4P's channel, some BHI channel, and said like, hey, this guy's talking shit, man. Come over here and debate him. I'm sure he will. Let's see. 4P came once. I smashed that young man. I took him to his best verse, and I told him what he was actually going to do. And I told him, you're going to fail when you read it because you're going to ignore this section. And he literally did exactly what I told him that he was going to do, that he just read one part of the verse and ignored the rest of it. I'm like, bro, you did exactly what I knew that you were going to do. So you guys better be ready with playing games here, because we don't play games. Let's go.
This is nothing but white supremacy and Western colonization, don't be a fool. They just want to label it Jewish so that when the time comes, they can disassociate themselves from it and put it all on the so-called Jews. That
all be revealed. Didn't you say that shit, bro? Hey, I gotta give it to you, bro. If you're listening, dude, wait, nah, you ain't listening no more. You probably left because usually you post some shit. Okay, so all will be revealed had actually said that to me. He says, man, I think they're trying to blame them. But the way he's saying it is like, no, they are, but they're trying to take off their shirts from the name they used to fucking play with. Let's go.
little black cap, that yarmulke, nothing but white supremacy and Western colonization, don't be a fool. They just want to label it Jewish so that when the time comes, they can disassociate themselves from it and put it all on the so-called Jews. That little black cap, that yarmulke, is just marking who's going to take the fall. And believe me, when the time comes, you're going to see them swipe that cap off so fast it'll make your head spin. Or you'll probably see Ben Shapiro move to Utah and become a Mormon, where I said that Zionism is white supremacy with a yarmulke on.
A heavy duty point, bro. Yeah, I did see that video about them arguing and shit, like supposedly trying to find the what do you call it? Underground bunkers or some shit like that. That's what they call it, right? So check it. All right, family. So Howard did step up. I'll give you credit for that, Howard. I'll give you credit for stepping up, man. Can you hear us? Go ahead. Howard, you're live. Hello? Can you hear us? Get yourself off mute, maybe. Howard. All right, well, you got to figure it out, man. Come back again when you know what you're doing, all right? Okay, so we got going on. Hey, I'll give you credit, though, man. I'll give you credit. But you know what I mean? Just showing up doesn't count. All right, check this out. Check this out real quick, fam. Remember, we are dealing with the checkerboard. Listen. Good, I had it on mute. What's up? Can you hear us now? Hello? Oh, fucking shit, man. Yo, man, can you hear us or not? Bro, you guys need to listen. I'm gonna give you one more chance. If you can't figure that shit out, don't come back again, bro. Because like I have a class going on. You know what I'm saying? I know you feel froggy and brave, but you don't know how to use this technology. I don't understand that shit. Let's go.
There should be no shame in this, by the way. Well, there are a couple of reasons. I mean, here's a guy who, by his own admission, and there should be no shame in this, by the way, got into Yale Law School because of affirmative action. I think that was fabulous. I think nothing wrong with it. He apparently is ashamed of it, so much so that once he became a jurist on the courts, he decided his first and foremost obligation, apparently, was to help usher out the very programs that had opened the door for him. I'm not sure how to think about that except to believe that that is someone who does not have a problem with the system of white supremacy that marginalizes other black folks as long as he got his. And he got his, and then he got out and basically said, that's it, we're done with that. I think if you look at his rulings, and particularly if you contrast his behavior as a judge and as a justice with the man he replaced on the court, Thurgood Marshall, you know, it's very interesting to see that one of the greatest jurists in American history when it comes to civil rights and when it comes to human rights and progressivism was replaced by one of the most reactionary justices because George H.W. Bush knew that you had to replace the black justice with other couple.
And you know, and by the way, I did see you try again, man. I wasn't not gonna let you back. I was just trying to finish the video. So I'm gonna give you one last chance, bro. If you really want to do this, one last chance, and that's it. Let me see. Lewis. Henry Gates, right? And Native American. Watch this. This is the guy you guys don't like. Here he goes.
On campus, there were a lot of ideological bullies. People telling you that if you had white friends, then you weren't black. And
that's not it. Which one is it? Let's see. I think this is it right here. There he goes. Check it.
There are huge misconceptions about tracing African American ancestry. I'm Henry Louis Gates Jr. I'm here to set the record straight.
Myth number one, black people's ancestors can only be traced back to Africa.
Nearly every African American who descends from enslaved ancestors is actually part white.
The average African American is an estimated 24% European. Almost no African American who descends from enslaved ancestors or who has deep roots in America is 100% sub-Saharan African.
You guys hear that shit? Do you hear that, Howard? You see what I'm saying, bro? Let's get our facts right. Again, I'm not the problem. You guys are the problem. I'm giving you facts and information. It's up to you to stop being stupid and saying, you know what? Let me sit back and chew on that shit because I may be wrong. Yeah. Let me see my phone work. I'll get a yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, a laptop. Here, I'll give you some advice. Get yourself. If you're just trying to jump on a live with people, get a Mac. That'll be good. But if you're trying to do lives, I wouldn't get a Mac, bro. Macs limit you. I would get a good PC. If you want to do lives and jump on lives, do a PC, not a Mac. Some of the programs are a little bit different. It's just not as easy. And if I were you, I'd get a laptop or a computer with two screens. You can't deal with one screen no more, bro. Listen, I've been working with three screens for the last 10 years. Like I don't ever use my computer without three screens. Like that's just my profession. Like I do specific type of work, and I need three screens because I watch shit, monitor shit, and you know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's continue, family. Let's continue. This is again, don't hate the messenger, man. Hate the message, not the messenger. Let's go.
Even in my case, I was shocked to learn that I am not only half white, but I'm also descendant on my mother's line from a white female ancestor. Myth number two, all black people have Native American ancestry. It's the biggest myth in American genealogy. Maybe you believe that your great-grandmother's proverbial high cheekbones and straight black hair came from her Cherokee origins. That's not likely. The truth is, most of us are actually less than 1% Native American. Those features of your great-grandmothers likely came from another source, the white ancestors that surfaced on our family trees during slavery. But if you're still curious to find out what, if any, percentage of your ancestors were Native American, or how African or how European you really are, a DNA test is your best bet. Myth number three, we all descend from one ethnic group in Africa. Every African American descends from multiple ethnic groups in Africa. It's also believed that we could discover.
So again, it's not just about that. What I'm trying to do is separate the truth from the lie. Like this is a lie, right? Supposedly these are the chodes. These ain't the chodes, bro. Y'all are Edomites. You are just mad because the Most High said, F you. You're not worthy. I mean, obviously he did more than that, but you know what I'm saying? Now, I want to bring this to your attention, family. We're about maybe, I said I was going to do something else as well, but I'm going to leave it for tomorrow, okay? But I'm not done yet. We're about maybe another hour. A brother sent me this, and I want to show this to you. I need you to remember the law.
Right, face it.
Well, keep in mind, if you believe you're Hebrew, then that means you should be a scholar. That means you should be a lawyer of your work, of your book, right? And you should know history so you can teach your gente what has happened, how it relates to today, and what may occur. So then they don't get surprised. That's why it's like, don't marvel not at the matter. If you see the oppression of the poor, Ecclesiastes 7:7, I think that's what it is. You know, if thou seest the oppression of the poor, And as a matter of fact, let me read it. Somebody said that yesterday. I think it was All Be Revealed. Ecclesiastes 7:7. Surely, no, that's not it. If thou seest the oppression of the poor and pervertest of judgment, marvel not at the matter. Because that means that you are well trained in what may occur because you studied your stuff. You know, you shouldn't be surprised. It's not like new. That's why when we're bringing these things out, if you're a child of the Most High and you're an Israelite, then these things shouldn't bother you. You shouldn't be attacking my shit. You should be like, oh, no, bro. Just listen to what I'm sharing. Do your due diligence. You cannot go and assume that this man, what he taught you, it's true. Because this is what BHIs have used. They've used their rhetoric to claim that they're part of the Bible. But what they taught them is not true. So now, listen, this is a repetitive thing, and I'm going to show you how repetitive it is. Let me see if I can do this real quick, okay? I'm going to show some stuff here real quick. I'm going to skip this guy because they do democratic stuff, but they do bring up some points. Let's go.
This has to do with the babies of slaves, very, very obviously. And I think we're going to, when people didn't, I don't think they went about discussing it right. This has to do with the babies of slaves, very, very obviously. And I think we're going to, when people didn't, I don't think they went about discussing it right.
The Supreme Court is finally doing what Donald hired them to do and handing down disappointing decision after disappointing decision today, prompting Trump to put down the McDonald's and Ozempic and get in front of the camera. Now, we've all seen Trump TV. We know he loves his time answering questions so he can practice his famous weave. But really, that's just giving us a chance to see his declining mental acuity while gloating about the Supreme.
And how, like, would this be a
Of course, as a history buff, he completely gets the dates wrong. Check this out.
under birthright citizenship, if this is implemented, who would be tasked with actually vetting citizenship? And how, like, would this be a situation where you have nurses and doctors checking for citizenship of parents, or?
This is all pending litigation. It's going to be decided in October by the Supreme Court, and we'll discuss that after the litigation.
If you have an undocumented baby, would that baby then be an enforcement priority?
The violent criminals in our country are the priority now. Let me put it in perspective. Today marked the 2,711th arrest in
This is how you know the devil is at work. Look at that nasty ass dirty cross. You see what I'm saying? This is them. That thing belongs to them. That little white Jesus and shit, it's not a joke, family. Yeah, the checkerboard is not a joke, bro. Let's go.
In our country of TDA members, just TDA. Everyone in this room agrees they are one of the most violent criminal organizations in the world. And the Biden administration let them walk into our country for the last 4 years. 2,711 of them today have been arrested in our country. That is the priority of Donald Trump. That is the priority of this country, of Homeland Security, of all of our lawyers, of FBI. That's the priority. That will be discussed in October when the Supreme Court hopefully rules in our favor, and we're very confident.
So what do the criminals have to do with the child? So that means that if Jeffrey Dahmer did his shit, then you should fucking put his parents in jail. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You see the mind of Esau. Esau, your days are numbered, man. I'm just telling you right now, your days are fucking numbered. And to me, what's the word? Flabbergastic to me, man. Like, you mix illegal so-called criminals and then with birthright citizenship, like as if the kids that they'll have will be wicked. You see how they're saying that your blood and your seed is wicked? That's what she's saying, that your seed is wicked because you're wicked. So we can't trust you because if you come in here illegal and you're a criminal and you have a baby, well, you're wicked because your seed is wicked. You see what I'm saying, family? And Canaan is right there with them, bro. They're enjoying this shit. Moab, too. They're enjoying this shit. Moab, Canaan, man. They listen. That's why Psalms 83 mentions Moab right away, too. Jeremiah 18:15, because my people have forgotten me. They have burned incense to vanity, meaning foolishness, Democratic, Republican. Y'all think they're going to save you. And they have caused them to stumble in their ways from the ancient path. Before these guys came here, we had what was called a communal society, not communist. communal, because that's what the scriptures talk about. The scriptures talk about taking care of your people, and no one misses a bread. To walk in his path in a way not cast up. Why? Because when these motherfuckers came, we did have people that were envious. We have them everywhere, family. Every raza has envious people. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be surprised at that shit. Let's continue.
Of that. But you should all feel safer now that President Trump can deport all of these gangs, and not one district court judge can think they're an emperor over this administration and his executive powers and why the people of the United States elected him.
I just might add one thing, and they used birthright citizenship, some of the worst people, some of the cartels, to get people into our country, just so you know. And again, I say, if you look at the end of the Civil War, the 1800s, it was a very turbulent time. If you take the end day, was it 1869 or whatever, but you take that exact day.
You say 1869, whatever? Bro, it's not even my history, and I fucking remember that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just tells you exactly, family, how they feel. The point being is this: they hate you people. They hate raza. They hate the Meshiacha bloodline, indigenous bloodline. They hate that shit. This is what they're saying. They're mixing criminals with birthrights, meaning that they're bad seed, so then their kids are bad seed. That's called eugenics from the white man. Okay? That's fucking eugenics. And I'm sick and tired of you dumbass white people trying to claim that you're so superior, bro. You are not. Do your history by your own kind. Benny Johnson, Benny the Bull, and Matt, whatever the fuck you are, Walsh. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about in the Bible. So let me remind you, in 1609, when you guys got here, some part in Jamestown, you were so lazy, you wanted the natives to feed your ass. And you know what? We said no. So then when James Smith left y'all, because he needed to get surgery, he came back and he found out that you motherfuckers were eating each other. You were digging up dead people up the grave. You were eating horses, rats, leather, shoes, and eventually you ate your own selves. Yeah, the messages are no longer subliminal. It's right in your fucking face, man. They're trying to say, oh, these are criminals. Birthright, that means their seed are criminals too. So then listen, man. If they really get away with that law, then if I was an attorney and they got away with that law, then I would sue all of you white folks for all the serial killers that you guys created. And I have factual psychological identification of who you guys are, because even FBI says that the majority of you serial killers, pedophiliacs, and all that fucking weird shit, 9 out of 10 are white people. White men between age of 20 and 35. Let's continue.
That's when the case was filed, and the case ended shortly thereafter. This has to do with the babies of slaves, very, very obviously. And I think we're going to, when people didn't, I don't think they went about discussing it right. I came along and we looked and we said, wait a minute, this is wrong. We've been looking at birthright citizenship.
Come along. This is Project 2025. Are you guys stupid? And all of you guys that voted for him thinking he's not going to deport everybody. No, you guys are dumb. Cuban bees, Puerto Rican bees, Mexican bees. You know what I mean by bees. Bitches. Sorry, Rich. I'm trying to keep it professional, but you know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Wrong for years, but they've used it. The cartels have used birthright citizenship to get very big.
The cartels have used birthright citizenship. What the fuck does a cartel have to do with birthright citizenship? If this is not as fucking racist as I've ever heard it, this is basically eugenics, family. Eugenics basically means that shit. How long is it going to take for you other nationalities for you to understand how they're saying this shit about us? And they're going to eventually say that shit about you. Oh, well, we ain't going to go through that. Really? You think they care? You got your own sellouts. You got your Supreme Judge that made sure that after he went from black to white, because he's a judge now. He's like, I ain't letting you Negroes come after me. Hell no. You guys stay down there. Hey, you're right. They did let those 19 cartels in. What the fuck? This is why, family, y'all need to wake up and learn exactly who you are according to this beautiful, wonderful history of ours, which is our heritage.
bad people in, and what Pam's doing and what Todd and everybody else, what they're doing at DOJ and all over, FBI, ICE, Border Patrol. These are incredible people. They're trying to keep our country safe, and they don't want to have people come in. This is just another way that they get illegal immigrants into our country, and in some cases, very, very bad ones.
So, as you know, the Supreme Court did not rule on the underlying constitutionality of the president's birthright citizenship order. So, what is the plan now? Are you going to try to implement the EO just in states where there isn't a legal challenge?
Yes, so birthright citizenship will be decided in October in the next session by the Supreme Court, unless it comes down in the next few minutes. I guess it could come down. I think they're still deliberating right now on some cases. As you heard, we just got transgender books, which is a huge win. But most likely that will be decided in October in the next session. However, it indirectly impacts us because, as you correctly pointed out, if there's a birthright citizenship case in Oregon, it will only affect the plaintiff in Oregon, not the entire country. So yes, it's indirectly, but that's pending litigation, and we're waiting on that in the next term.
And how concerned are you that the Supreme Court will come back and determine that the executive order is unconstitutional?
We're very confident in the Supreme Court. But again, it's pending litigation, and that will directly be determined in October, but it indirectly impacts every case in this country, and we're thrilled with their decision today. Peter.
Madam Attorney General, thank you for being here to take our questions. A couple questions to the both of you. The EO had a 30-day grace period before it goes into effect. Is there any thought about trying to make it effective immediately within that period of time?
We're going to follow the law. We're going to make those decisions, and we're going to do what's right in the bounds of the law.
And then the DOJ didn't ask the justices to rule on the merits of the birthright citizenship ban. Just for explanation purposes, why?
Sure, because that's going to come down in October in the separate. This was huge because it's indirectly impacted today. As I said, it's case by case. Let me reiterate: of the 35 of the 40 nationwide injunctions filed against this president, against his executive authority as president of the United States, 35 of them came from Maryland, D.C., Massachusetts, California, and Washington. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're fucking evil. And I saw that shit, man. She was all smiling. Yeah, I hope they make the decision right away. But you know what, bro? It's not just this color of people that do that shit, bro. They're all laughing about it. You guys told me already. They're fucking enjoying that shit. They're like, yeah. Bro, it's just so, whatever. It doesn't matter to me, man. You know what I'm saying? At this point, it's like, well, what are you gonna assume? I've been telling you guys for some time now. You should be prepared. Let me show you this video here real quick, because before we move on, matter of fact, no, I'm going to show it after, because this is, and again, I'm not trying to show these old videos, but I want to give an explanation of what they're trying to implement again. You see, this birthright citizenship is attacking basically the mother. Okay? Stop. It's attacking the mother, okay? So what it's basically saying is that if the mother is illegal, so is the child. Do you understand what that means? If the mother is illegal, so is the child. Now, we used to think that these slave laws only apply to certain people, and we're finding out that shit is total bullshit. Bullshit. It smells so bad, you can smell it from a mile, and it even looks like that. So I'm going to explain to you through this little, 25-minute video of what they're trying to implement again. Okay, like I was going to bring out material, but I've done this before, so I'm going to let the video show you how this relates to the past. Partu sequitur ventrum is exactly what they're trying to implement through getting rid of the birthright law. The birth citizenship, which means that if you're a so-called undocumented, individual, and you happen to have kids here, right? They will not be documented because you're undocumented. Even if the father is legal, trust and believe they're going to use that angle. It's all a methodical process with these fucking Edomites, the sons of Esau, and the nasty, ugly, dirty, body count daughters of Esau. They all work like this. They make these little moves and shit. They think they're smart. It's because the demon is working for them. But you know what? The demon is getting weak now. We're seeing the weakness in who they are, because they're putting stupid people in certain positions that are going to destroy themselves. Again, hate will always destroy itself, family. So listen to this real quick.
Look, check this out. This guy. This is why I was curious about that law. Remember that law that talked about partus? What is it called? Partus sequitum ventrum. It was in 1662. Colonial, right? British owned these lands, and they passed that law. Well, look at this. This guy is an actual king of England. He was a prince of England,
son of King James. He was a king of England, English, Scottish, and Irish. So his father, who was alive at that time in the 1600s, was the one that had to pass that law. These guys are not kings because they applied it. Excuse me, because they applied for a job. It's passed down from parents. So since you guys are saying that this black man passed that law, I mean that's what I'm finding. It says upon the death of the father, 1701, he was recognized as king. Succeeded the son Charles. All right, so obviously lineage passes through. As long as we keep teaching our brothers and sisters who we are according to the Bible, man, that's what's being commanded of us. All right, we just got to stick to the script, guys. Remember, man, just stick to the script, dude. Focus on the end. The end is what matters. All right, not now. We'll get our chance. Anyways, so that's who that guy is. And then I find this interesting. This is from. Matter of fact, here I'll just put it here because it keeps popping on this window. This is from a book called Africa's Gift to America. Okay. And watch what these guys say. I'm not saying it. They're saying it. This is written in 1880. What page is that? 58. Africa's Gift to America. All right, page 58. I'm going to go to that now. It's an interesting book. It's a really interesting book to be quite frank with you. A lot of history, and then a lot of it is actually I say this in connection with what I have. This right here, well, that's not my topic, so I don't care. But if you can see, I mean, these are slaves, basically. They're selling slave women, white women. They were selling white women. That's what they were doing. But that's not my topic. It's part of it. Look at first American slave, page 59, I believe, okay? 58, my bad. Strong documentary proof that the first Africans in America were not slaves, and that chattel slavery of them did not start until about 1659 or 1682. Remember the Partum Sequatu Ventrum, the black king who passed that law in 1662? Well, that's why. Okay, so after that law is when so-called black people were being enslaved. Well, it was black people who were enslaving their children, and white people who were, I guess, enslaving their children too, because they were just using our sister's funnel for your pleasures. Russell, in this chapter, Origin of the Free Negro Class, calls a brief that the first Negroes were slaves. A popular error maintained and supported by a large number of writers. The evidence clearly points to the customary indentured for Virginia. Archive shows that throughout the indentured, it's very true, watch this. Throughout the, hold on. Throughout the, oh, that's right. They did it to me last time. Give me a second. That throughout the second quarter, hold on. Throughout the second quarter of the 17th century, Negroes were being released at the end of their period of indenture. Look up the book Virginia, the Old Dominion. Okay, I have it, but I haven't looked through it, so I don't want to bother it. Let's say the common belief that all Negroes brought to Virginia in the early period were slaves is an error. Virginia's first century. It says judicial cases concerning American slavery and the Negro. They're talking about one particular person that I guess she was a slave, Lady Yardy. They didn't want to pay a slave, and they were forced to pay the slave. In 1661 occurs the first reference of the state in Virginia to Negroes in the quality of slaves. You guys can find all this stuff out, okay? Watch this real quick. I wasn't able to download it on my page for whatever reason. It was giving me a hard time, but I have it on my Facebook account, and I'm gonna show you guys what I have. Okay, let's see. I think this is it. No, that's not it. Oh, I think it is. My bad. This is from a book called This is from a book called "Let the Blood That the Blood Stay Pure." Page 67. The year 1619 has been earmarked as the earliest date of arrival for Negroes to the English colony. Yet they accompanied Spanish North American expeditions almost as a century before the English arrived in Virginia. That means, but in 1492, there were black folks coming with the so-called white people too, right, to destroy our people and take our lands. There's also evidence that they cohabited with the Aborigines in the early 17th century. So here's exactly where the hijacking begins. So let me just share something with you, so-called Aboriginals, okay? What this guy's actually saying is that you African people came here first when they came here, okay? Both of y'all, basically. It took both of you guys to take us down, okay? And then after that happened, a lot of you Africans stayed here. And you were mixing with our sisters, which then became the concept of Aborigines. Exactly that, all right? So, but anyways, you're not going to believe me, so it doesn't matter. Let me continue. In 1603, 7 Negroes escaped St. Augustine, with some maintaining their freedom and marrying Indian women. Franciscans found Negroes. Now, these Franciscans, what? They weren't white, because watch what he says. Franciscans found Negroes, meaning the Africans, and Indians, our sisters, or maybe some of our men, cohabiting together in Florida, and repeatedly admonished the Aborigines that it was an unclean thing to keep Negro mistresses, meaning what? That the Africans shouldn't be mixing with the natives because it was unclean. They looked at us like pigs, like swine. That's exactly what the statement is. I don't know what other interpretation you want me to give you. This is from a book that they, meaning the other camps, actually no, the one camp, which is IOIC, loves to bring this book out, man. And you know, I find it so interesting because they love to bring this book out, but they don't show you guys everything of this book. They only read this part. This is from the a treatise on physical geography. They love to hide it. This is the funny part. They like to hide books, but you know what, guys? Whether you show it or not, the price goes up or down. And you want to know why I know this? Because I buy books. I collect books. I buy them, okay? I buy them. And I've been lucky and fortunate to buy some books at like $100 that are cost like $1,000 now. All right? So don't tell me that, oh, all of a sudden you shared it. And no, nobody ever shared the book I got. And that thing's costing expensive. So don't believe the hype, man. All they want to do is make it seem like, oh, they're so secretive. Watch this. The Jews are people who ever, according to, they read this and like, look, they're black, brother. They're black, brother. But yeah, the page before, watch what the page before says. The rapidity with which the color changes is seen in the English colonies of North America. It is not 250 years since the very first colonists arrived in Britain, and much shorter time since the ancestors of most of the present New Englanders across the ocean. And yet they have lost the clear complexion of their kindred beyond the waters and acquired much of the hue of the southern French and northern Spaniards. Remember this. Remember that? The more Spaniards, Italians are more swarthy than the French. Here it's saying that they acquired much of the hue of the southern French and northern Spaniards, meaning dark or brown. So that if an assemblage of each nation were placed side by side, there could be no difficulty whatever is distinguishing them by their complexion. Now watch this. With respect to the intermixture with the Indians, we know as a matter of fact that it never took place. Why? Because those children were considered slaves. The Aborigines of America are another instance. I explained that already. Why? Because they were Africans. They never wanted to mix with our people, and if they did, they sure as hell did not have any respect. I'm just reading to you guys what I'm finding. Now, if I make statements, okay, fam. So now you hear, and you heard it from myself, what the heck's actually found, right? So let me close these up real quick. Let me turn this down, man. I don't know why all of a sudden it sounds so loud. I don't like it. What the hell happened? All right. Anyhow, I was looking for a book, and this book explains the God, I can't remember the name of it. It's basically a retaliation law. I'm trying to look for it here. Lord willing, I can get it, fam. This book shows how they had passed these laws, and it's basically like a retaliation against our people. And I cannot remember which book it was in, but I remember taking a picture of it. And I'm looking for it right now. Here we go. All praises. I believe this is from. I wish I could tell you what book this is. I will get it for you, family. Listen to this. It says here on page. What page is it? I don't know what page it is, but the top says C.S. Everett. Okay, I promise to get this for you guys. That's what it reads.
Again, in 1666, and barely a decade before the onset of Bacon's rebellion, Governor Berkeley issued an order against the Rappahannock River tribes. Members of these tribes allegedly murdered some colonists, meaning you enslavers, in that section in violation of Treaty of 1646. With the 1660/1661 Retribution Act in place, the General Court, Berkeley presiding, declared that for revenge for the alleged murders and for the prevention of future mischiefs, the tribes would be prosecuted with war and their women and children taken and then disposed of according to such instructions as shall be issued from the right honorable the governor, which would then take law orders from who? The kings. The kings, the kings. All right, watch. I'll show you this right now. Okay. Only tell me I got. Oh man, I'm running out of time, fam. All right, I'm gonna show you this video, and then I'm gonna read y'all something, because I think that's all we really need, anyways. I think that's all we need, anyhow. Let me show you this real quick, fam. This is pretty quick. Watch this.
Let me show you something.
So,
Let me show you something. Show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you something.
already got that part in place. Boom. All right, watch this, family.
A common characteristic for the first illustrious so-called African Americans to rise into prominence was a melanin-deficient parent. In most cases, a common characteristic for the first illustrious so-called African Americans to rise into prominence was a melanin-deficient parent. In most cases, a father. This outcome was mostly a result of Virginia colonial slave statute Partus Sequitur Ventrum. Partus Sequitur Ventrum. Partus Sequitur Ventrum. That which is brought forth follows the womb, meaning the legal status of a child born of an enslaved Indian woman, will always remain enslaved. This law gave planters and free white men in general
Planters are the black people.
carte blanche authority to impregnate captured women without having to so much as even claim responsibility for their mixed-race children. Just as common, these children were sold on the mulatto maid market as house niggas for an added sticker price as compared to their darker-skinned counterparts. In this aspect, Virginia colonial law was totally contradictory to English common law, which states that a child's status follows the father. Of course, this law, extending from the earlier Virginia codes, was designed this way to assure legalized rape of indigenous women without consequence, and naturally the perpetuation of slavery through a duplicitous modification of English common law. Children born of a white mother and black father were considered free, and consequence, and naturally the perpetuation of slavery through a duplicitous modification of English common law. Children born of a white mother and black father were considered free. Born of a white mother and black father were considered free, and were counted among free people of color. White men were freely allowed to abandon or kill their children without recourse, solidifying their position as the first deadbeat dads in American history.
I find that part hard to believe, to be honest with you. That one, it's kind of hard to believe. My brother. But check this out, fam. Enough is enough. Let's get to the point. All right. So now we got here we go. This is called Judicial Cases Concerning American Slavery and the Negro, edited by Helen Tunnicliffe Catherall. Volume 1, 1926. It's published by Carnegie Institution of Washington. Looks pretty legitimate, I think, right? Carnegie Institution of Washington.
It reads, matter of fact, let me download it. So we can read it together, fam. Let's chew on this here real quick. I'm making a little bit of time. I guess I ain't that bad. I'm gonna go over a couple minutes. Hope y'all don't mind. Hope you guys don't mind. Trying to stay within an hour, fam. Let me close this up. Page 63, and it reads, however, the colonists did not depend on traffic or kidnapping for their supply of Indian slaves, but took the enemy pagan by their own progress in war and enslaved him long before the passage of the Virginia Act of 1676 or 1679. The passage of Virginia Act. Watch this. When forces were being raised in Maryland in 1652 for a march against the Eastern Shore Indians. Such Indians, prisoners as shall happen to be taken, as are declared the spoils of those who financed the expedition. Indians were also reduced to slavery in punishment for crimes. Thus, we have shown that the first slaves in the colony of Virginia were Indians. Oh my God, does that hurt? Does that hurt? Hold on, let me do it again. We have shown that the first slaves in the colony of Virginia were Indians, not Negroes. And that the law of the colony sanctioned Indian slavery, except as regards prospective importations by land, for a few years after the passage of the Act of 1670. The practice of the colonists, you slavers, black and white ones, in accordance with their laws, is illustrated by the cases in the courts of Virginia and Maryland from 27 to 1831. In 1627, some Indians of the Carib Islands were brought in the country by Captain Sampson, but the experiment was too disastrous to warrant repetition, at least on a wholesale scale. Damn. Besides the traffic in Indian slaves between Virginia and Maryland colonists mentioned above, the Maryland court reports contains other instances of Indian slavery. In 1648, complains that Captain Edward Hill had not delivered him to two Indian boys. I skipped Paul Simpson marriage from purpose, fam. I just didn't want to read it. You guys can read this here. It says here, in Maryland, in 1656, there belonged to a household one of oversee a Negro, a white woman servant, damn, and an Indian slave. What? Yeah.
Gotta hurt.
See that, fam? You remember how, One West says, hey, we gotta have order. Yeah, there was order in slavery, meaning y'all were enslaving us. That's why you see the sister being sold by the black guy.
That's right.
Hello?
That's right.
In 1661, one citizen of Maryland demands an Indian promise him a satisfaction of another Indian belonging to the whatever, this and that. Okay? Let me go to the next page. Let's see here. Let me see if this is important. Here, let me read this here. Here it goes right here. Right here. And then I'm done. Paragraph number 2, page 764. That Indians were brought in and held in slavery for many years subsequent to 1682 is indicated by the evidence of witnesses and the assertion of counsel in the cases brought from 19 to 150 years later. By acts passed in the 18th century, Robin and others who brought actions in 1772 to try their titles to freedom were descendants of Indian women brought into this country by traders at several times between the years 1682 and 1748. And by them sold as slaves under the Act of Assembly made in 1682. Basic counsel for the plaintiff asserts that hundreds of the descendants of Indians brought in between 1682 and 1684 had obtained their freedom on actions brought in this court. Damn, hundreds.
That's right.
Of descendants of Indians. The court gave judgment against many descendants of Indians introduced and held as slaves between 1682 and 1705.
That's right.
That many Indians were reduced to slavery between 1691 and 1705 is shown by handling assertion that thousands of their descendants were deprived of their liberty when they sued for it later. Thousands, fam. Do you guys realize that black and white folks were raping our sisters and they were enslaving their own people? Damn.
Y'all can't get any worse than that.
That's
The revisal of the law 1705, an act concerning servants and slaves, reenacts chapter 1 of the Act of 1682 subsequent, but omits the word Indian. And the special clauses respecting Indian slaves. Oh, that's funny. Here, I forgot to bring this up. On the bottom. In the latter history of Indian slavery in Virginia, it is the female Indian slave who is prominent as the ancestries of slaves petitioning for freedom. For if she had been enslaved unlawfully, her descendants in the female line were free, in accordance with the axiom of civil law, partis sequitur ventrum, which was accepted generally, except in Maryland for a few years, 1664 to 1681. We just read what happened in that time. Hundreds of their descendants. Partis sequitur ventrum, fam, was not towards the black people. It was our sisters. Yeah, I need to get this book.
So I am, that's why I wanted the video to show you and explain this stuff, because you know what I mean? I would have done it myself, but you know what? I did it already. So let it be clear. This is what they're doing again. It has never changed. Look, I got a couple more videos, and then we'll be done today. Watch this real quick. Our people need to know. Watch this real quick. This is interesting. Remember, keep in mind, who came as conquistadors, okay? Watch.
¿Por qué no os unís a los franciscanos y salváis sus almas? Si es que las tienen. Si se entromete, restando.
A ver. Los evangelistas. Mateo. Los evangelistas. Mateo. Marcos. Lucas. Juan. Padre. ¿Podéis ayudarme? Creo que he olvidado los nombres. César. Carlos. Manolo. Paco. Federico. Rodrigo. Felipe.
A ver, ¿quién hará de Jesucristo?
The reason I showed you that video is because you see dark-skinned people. Dark-skinned people. Dark-skinned people. Now, check this out. Saw this video real quick. And the brother pointed out of what she was saying, right? You know, because this is typical information.
America, I have a few questions for you.
This is typical information. This is what the white man taught everybody, right? Message for the descendants of the Anglo-Saxon. And she's going to say that supposedly, you know what I'm saying, she reads Ivy League books and all kinds of shit, right? I'm not going to let you hear that shit. I'm just giving you like a minute. But a brother showed me that he looked into this text message, like he was looking at post. And this right here is what actually stood out. So because you can't really see it, I got the picture for it. I'm going to play a little bit of what she's saying, and then I'm going to show you how the word is getting out. So if you ain't if you ain't chihuihuis, if you ain't waking up, bro, seriously, man, it's not my fault. It's your fault. You're limiting yourself. Let's go.
Because I'm new to this shit. I just started studying your books at Harvard and your books at Yale and many of your books at Einstein's College, and I was just doing some research, and I've been trying to use my mind to utilize the thoughts that I have to be able to come up with the right words to be able to use.
Okay, so you know, this is what I noticed. Not because of what she looks like. I'm not doing that. But what I noticed about certain people, they try to sound very smart. And she's like, I tried to utilize my thoughts to make sure that I can actually, like, she's not saying shit. She's basically trying to prepare to say something, but it takes her a long time to say what she needs to say. It's pretty simple. If you know what you're talking about, just say it. Okay, so listen, I read Ivy League books all the time. All the time. Like literally all the time. I read them all the time, but and I'm not in college. I've been reading them since I started this whole thing. 8 years now already. This is why I find what I find, fam. Let's go. I mean, I'm glad she is. I'm glad she knows that. Let's go.
when speaking with you all so that you can have a full understanding of what it is exactly that I'm trying to comprehend and convey when I speak directly to you as a nation and a culture and a people, a descent of a bloodline of people who came over here. So when I speak to you with all dignity, okay? I come to you in pure peace, okay? I just don't quite understand, like, exactly.
To say the same shit. He showed up. Look, man, this is crazy. You all like the same way, dude. You guys are all like the same way, bro. Hold on a second. Let me see. Oh, they erased that shit? Oh, whatever. So, he came in with the same thing. Hey, peace. And then he attacked. It's a Hamitic thing.
How long did you think the plan would last? I mean, so if I go back to just the basics of, when Queen Isabella gave the green light to Christopher Columbus and he sailed and he was just an explorer. He was just a bright mind. He was young. He had a whole life to live. He just wanted to just find something in the world, like to call his.
You hear this shit? Hold on a second, man. I don't offend women, but today.
Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
I'm sorry. This is so stupid. Hey, I'll be real. I'm surprised you even bothered to look at the fucking notes, bro.
Own. And so when he went over there and his first finding was the Arawak people, and he was so in awe. They were what he described as like dark-skinned people, and in the description that he left of them,
Columbus never fucking said that, okay? Like, he never said that shit. Matter of fact, I'll show you. Oh my God. I'm glad I didn't watch the whole video, bro, because you know what I'm saying? Like, keep me on my toes, family. Keep me on my toes. You keep me on my toes, man. You know what I'm saying? This is why when brothers call me and be like, we're talking and shit, and they're like, bro, you just spit out books out of nowhere. Yeah, because like I read my shit. And I read it often. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't forget these things. Because if you are a scholar of shit, then you shouldn't. This is the lost tribes in a promised land, okay? So check this out. This is Christopher Columbus. Let me just tell you. This is on page 94. Let's go. Let's get it. It says here, there have been rumors indicating among the people encountered of the natives of the islands who were fierce and warlike and who ate human flesh, but none of them appeared in persons on the first voyage. I did not find, Columbus writes, any bestial man among them, as some of us had expected. But on the contrary, men of great difference and kindness. On the onset of the warlike multitudes was for another day. He says, neither are they black.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Hold on, wait, what?
That's right.
No, they're not. What? Neither are they black, blackety black, like Ethiopian black, blackety black shit. He goes on. Their hair is smooth, straight, like goat's hair, like David Solomon's and the girl that wiped the tears off the Messiah's foot. I'm sorry. Like that. Kind of like people that grow their beards all the way down, like Aaron, all the way down to his ankles and shit. You know what I'm saying? No Afro puff. Last time I checked. For they do not dwell where the sun rays. I'm sorry. For they do not dwell where the rays of the sun strikes most vividly. You see that? So we're not necessarily all dark skinned. We come in a variety of colors. Variety of colors. Again, that's why I don't get invited to debates, because they watch what I do. Because they don't understand that, because they understand that they may say some shit and I might come up with some historical book from like fucking 10 years ago that I remembered, and they have never seen it. You see, a lot of people in this genre, they only attack what they know they can, what they know that they can overcome. But when they deal with the spirit like me, they don't know what to expect. Because I come from different angles. I read books in Spanish and in English. I have some, I don't gotta hype it up, man. Yeah, I know what it is. Let's go.
He also said the most.
Remind y'all what the simpletons.
What he described.
She reads Ivy League shit. Harvard. I'm so fucking smart. Oh my God. So let's listen in again. What did Columbus say?
Described as like dark-skinned people, and in the description that he left of them, he also said the most beautiful things about them. Like, they were peaceful people, and they didn't have weapons, and they were very genuine with their sharing. And, you know, just to think that that is your bloodline, that's your character. You have always saw people who had good hearts as a pushover, and you've bullied almost every single nation that walks the earth today.
See what I mean? Like, they don't even realize that they were slavers, Negro slavers themselves. Negro colonizers is a real fucking thing. I'm sorry, I'm not the problem. You're the problem. You are so caught up in your box that you are not willing to look outside of that shit. You guys always blame the white man, but you helped him. You were licking his balls. He was licking your balls. You were rubbing nut sacks with each other, smacking cheeks and shit. You know what I'm saying? Sharing DNA. Like Lewis and Henry Gates said, a lot of you are white people.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
It's just crazy. Let's continue.
So I will never have full understanding how you guys today are not understanding that right now we're dealing with the third and fourth generations of those people that were sold into those captivities. They were sold into captivity on those ships. So it just doesn't make sense to me that today the people that are so educated and so intellectual, they are the ones who studied. I mean, they go to the prestigious colleges, they graduate from Harvard, and they read out of the finest books and lectures. There's no way that I'm going to believe that this generation does not know who we are.
You see, this is what I'm saying too. My Negro African brothers and sisters, how the fuck did I find this shit? And you guys are scholarly. You've had colleges here since 1830. What the fuck's going on? I feel the same way you do. But see, you only focus on one fucking thing. I play fair with everybody. I got no respect of nationality. I'll call your asses out for what it is. I read these Ivy League schools, and I don't sound like you're fucking trying to be smart ass. Because you want to know something? All of that's just a facade. That's all a facade. Because even if I had the achievements of what I technically could have, I would still wear shorts, tank top, and sandals all day, every day. Because to me, this is all fluff. Let's continue.
Okay, because like it took me so much to find my DNA and to actually find my genealogy and to actually like really be able to put names and faces to the people who gave me life. And like now that I know all of these English people, there's no way that I'm not gonna honor them too. Okay, like my great-grandmother, my 9th great-grandmother is Catherine Carver Wyatt, who came off the Mayflower. Like there's no way that I would not honor that blood, right? I mean, like it's your plan. You guys did this. It's not me. I didn't create this mixing melting pot. This was a melting pot that you guys created. So you're not going to make me feel bad.
Woman is technically half white, and she's over here trying to act like she's African. Like, see, this is the problem with the Dunning-Kruger effect. Yeah, let me show you. Let me show you just real quick. Again, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad I saved it. Oh, I don't, not that one. I'm glad I saved it. Is it here still? Oh, no, don't tell me I knocked it down, man. Come on, bro. What? No, I did not want that. Ah, shit, I'll find it. Let's continue, bro. Let me just, yeah, we're done with that shit. Let me find this kind of silliness right here. Hold on a second. Where are you at? Where are you? Just had you right here. Oh, here it goes right here. There you go, there. Let's go.
Because I'm finding the truth, and now the truth has set me free. I mean, like, you guys need to study a little bit more. It makes me wonder, why did you pay all of that money to go to school and you guys are just so fucking dumb? I mean, it makes no sense. But anyway, I wanted to remind you guys that your story that you told the whole world, and you guys set up these military bases all around the United States that you guys built to protect your powerful kingdom that you guys built up with the enslaved people here. The children of the people that came into captivity are still here. Like, where did they go? Like, if they came here in 1600 and then 1700, 1800, that just means that the people had children, and then those children had children, and then those children had children, and we are now the children. So why are we acting like we just don't know science? Like, this is why I am totally okay with watching you guys get your ass whooped. Like, It's totally fun. It's fun watching the wrath of God whoop your ass because you deserve it, okay? Like, you deserve every bit of falling out of the plains. You deserve every bit of falling to the bottom of the ocean. You deserve every bit of losing the wealth and the prosperity that you guys have had, the abundance of sitting on the milk and honey. You guys came to the land of milk and honey. You milked it, and now you're the greatest whore that ever sat on any water.
Prime Day is coming
and
July.
You have to pay. And so Judgment Day will come for America.
You know what the worst thing is? It's finding out that you're that stupid. You see, she is a prime example of the Dunning-Kruger effect, bro. It's straight up. I'm telling you, man, this is so fucking funny. It's just so ridiculous. It goes with the class. Let's go.
I think the problem with people like this is that they are so stupid that they have no idea how stupid they are. You see, if you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very stupid? You'd have to be relatively intelligent to realize how stupid you are. There's a wonderful bit of research by a guy called David Dunning at Cornell, who's a friend of mine, I'm proud to say, who's pointed out that in order to know how good you are at something requires exactly the same skills as it does to be good at that thing in the first place, which means, and this is terribly funny, that if you're absolutely no good at something at all, then you lack exactly the skills that you need to know that you're absolutely no good at it. And this explains not just Hollywood, but almost the entirety of Fox News.
It's what we're looking at, bro. You guys are gonna be in for a rude awakening. I'm gonna tell you this right now. A rude awakening. Yeah, I got the Cody Mato link. Don't trip. So now, let me read this to you, and then we're done. No, this isn't in the video. So this is the girl. You know what I'm saying? You can see her face and shit, right? You can park a car in that nostril and shit. So this is what that brother said in his statement of a video. And this is why I love that our gente is starting to wake up. Tigre uno solo, dice. That's his name. Tigre uno solo. Listen closely. This is the truth they've been hiding. Black and white Europeans, along with black Africans and white Africans, that's true, North Africans that were mixing with these people, the Iberian Peninsula, remember? United to systematically destroy Native Americans. They came together like players in a grand chess game, executing a plan to conquer and erase indigenous peoples from this land. Now they're continuing their mission to finish what they've started. Why do you think there are black Jamaicans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, and other black communities? These black individuals arrived alongside with white colonizers to conquer and displace the Native Americans, meaning the indigenous people, meaning so that these black individuals, these Negro colonizers arrived alongside with white colonizers. You should have rephrased that. Their presence is not coincidental. It's part of the ongoing effort to dominate and erase indigenous culture. That's why you get Waboism or FBA, dumbass fucking folkies, all these stupid ass motherfuckers that scared of me. Don't be deceived by appearance. Black and white people have formed secret societies, exclusive clubs, and hidden institutions. Check this out. Exclusive clubs and hidden institutions throughout the history. These organizations, often operating behind closed doors, have perpetuated systems of control and exclusion. I've been sharing this shit from 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. It's all been a progressive teaching. These organizations, often operating behind closed doors, have perpetuated systems of control and exclusion. This is why the scriptures say that we will start seeing things, right? And we will start understanding what we're reading. They maintain power and influence by keeping their actions secret from the public eye. For example, at Yale University, the Skull and Bone Society, founded in 1832, which wasn't only white people, had been a breeding ground for future leaders and decision makers. Members including influential figures like George W. Bush, John Kerry. These secret societies have shaped policies and decisions that have impacted indigenous communities, often to their detriment. Similarly, at historically black colleges and universities, secret societies have existed for generations. The Boule, Founded in 1904. Remember, keep in mind, in 1904, only 5% of our people were literate.
That's gonna hurt!
We have nothing in common with these motherfuckers. The Boule, founded in 1904 as a prominent example, modeled after Skull and Bones, it was established to provide a platform for black professionals, and it has been associated with influential figures such as Martin Luther King Jr., Jesse Jackson, and Barack Obama. Remember, he deported like 5 million of our people. While it's stated mission is to uplift the Pan-African black community, because that's where it falls down to, right? Some critics argue that it serves to maintain the status quo and prevent systematic change. The truth is clear. Black and white Europeans, alongside other groups, have conspired to destroy the Native Americans and to continue to uphold systems that marginalize indigenous people. Their secret societies and hidden agendas are part of this ongoing effort. Fudge. Man, this is crazy, bro. This is fire right here, man. I'm so glad this... I'm so glad, bro. I'm so glad that this information is getting out, man. I'm so fucking glad. Yes, they seem like they got like something going on in their brain. Saludos, Metzli. We're done, sis. But anyways, you're good. You can always rewind the video. So anyways, look, I got this last video to show you, and then we good. The next topic I was gonna cover today, but we're at 3 and 10 and shit, man. I'm still hungry. I didn't really eat that well. I was trying to hurry up. So let me show you this video, and then we done. Check this out. Even your own king is calling you guys out. Even he's saying, bro, you know what? I'm starting to realize, bro, that you guys are probably Canaanites. Let's go.
And I'm not advocating any religion. I'm not ever saying we're all Hebrews, we're all Muslims, we're all Muslims. I'm not saying none of that. You have to go look into your personal genealogy, your personal life, and your nature. If you you feel like you're more and you relate to what Joel is saying, you might be a Moabite, Canaanite, just like Lex Vortex is calling himself a Canaanite. Maybe that is his nature. I'm not gonna fight that with him. You understand? So maybe that is his nature. Maybe he is a Canaanite. So I'm not gonna fight with him over that. You know what I mean? It's silly to actually pretend to debate with somebody who really don't do research, man. You know, like it's a waste of time.
Look at this guy, he's emotional and shit. Mr. 400 TV and shit. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to be an electrician. You dumbass. Apparently, that's how his mama and dad talk to him. More likely your mom. Your mom says you're a dumbass. That's technically how I can tell, because that's the first thing you said, because you're already emotional. Got to be an Edomite. The pseudo shit you're doing is the reason why we've always been split. Nah, we're not the same people. At all. We got nothing in common. At all. I ain't cherry picking shit. And you're new to this channel. You should do your due diligence and find out exactly what I've been teaching for a long time. Your people run away from my facts. You guys have not answered to anything that I've been saying. All you do is dumbass and bitch. That's it. That's all you guys do. That's it. See, look, and then this guy right here. Ranting. See what I'm saying? Y'all don't do shit. You see, the way that your parents talk to you don't work no more. It might have worked with like other people, but they don't work here. We ain't got time for that shit. Bring some scholarly shit. If you think I'm wrong, well, there's a fucking link. Prove to me that I'm wrong. If you feel fucking ballsy, I already told Volta, Volta's a little bitch. He ain't gonna jump on that shit. I already know that. But maybe you will. Maybe you can defend him. Maybe you'll be the man that Howard was saying, hey, can when this guy debating anybody? I bring facts. I don't bring fiction, bro. The problem is this, because this was the title of the class. Right here. Do yourself a favor and look it up. The Dunning-Kruger effect. That's the title of the class. That's the title of the class. The Dunning-Kruger effect. And you sound like you have that effect on you. That you think you know what you know, but you don't know that you don't know what you should know. And because I affected your whatever it is that you have in your chest, oh, feeling fucking awkward and emotional and shit, it's because you believe something for so long that you realize now that it's total bullshit. And your spirit understands it, but your mind don't let you grasp onto it. I've been in this channel since 2022, saying the same shit since 2022. ISUPK, GMS, IUIC especially, Sakari, don't fuck with my shit. So you let me know when you guys are ready, because I'm proving facts. This is not emotional talk. So don't get mad at the messenger. Get mad at yourself for being so fucking square and dumb.
You know, and it's just like we got rude words and I'm not advocating any religion. I'm not ever saying we're all Hebrews, we're all Muslims, we're all Moors. I'm not saying none of that. You have to look into your personal genealogy, your personal life, and your nature. If you you know, you feel like you're Moor and you relate to what Joel is saying, you might be a Moabite, Canaanite, just like Lex Vortex is calling himself a Canaanite. Maybe that is his nature. I'm not gonna fight that with him. You understand? So maybe that is his nature. Maybe he is a Canaanite. So I'm not gonna fight with him over that. You know what I mean? It's silly to actually pretend to debate with somebody who really don't do research, man. You know, like it's a waste of time. You know, and it's just like we got rude words, just insulting me, calling me a devil and stuff. It's just like a comedy to you guys. I don't know. It's like you guys like that stuff and all that. I mean, I don't care, man. If dude got issues in his head or he's bipolar or whatever, I don't know, man. That's his problem, man. I don't know him. He don't know me. But you know, I never came at him anyway personally, so I don't know why he comes at me. But it's just, you know, that's the kind of nature I see. I see a pattern with a lot of Moors. They all kind of act like that. So I look at it like maybe that is their nature. When you go back into scripture, you see that there's some kind of beef there between Israelites and Moabites and Canaanites. You know, is that just a story? Is that just a Bible story? But then I'm seeing traditions, right, written down about the Israelites, how they act and how they do in their ceremonies and stuff. And then I see it in my culture. I see it with my people. I see it, you know, and they never call themselves Hebrews, but they're doing the exact same things that described in that Bible. So who's the real people they're describing? You know?
So unless he thinks Morenos are his people, I don't think he means that. I don't know, man. He's a little confusing sometimes and shit. You know what I mean? Este vato está confundido, güey. Está confundido. Anyways, family. That's all I got. That's all I got. But again, man, listen. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Y'all need to really check out what that means. You don't have a problem with me. You have a problem with your limitations. You have a problem with the fact that you can't grasp what we're actually showing. So you resort to insults. You stand even firmer on what you believe by calling me up. Don't repent like a fire, bitch. You don't hurt nobody with comments like that. If I'm a demon, then I'm going to get destroyed. Those are facts. If you guys are demons, guess what? You are and will be destroyed. Hey, hold on a sec. Chris, peace. Peace, Chris, on my mama. Hey, you want to know something, Volta, bro? Like, you know, you just say some weird shit, man. But, you know, I think you're funny, bro. I think you have a cool... Man, hey, listen, if there was no Bible involved in shit, you and I would have probably hung around and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you're funny. Oh, shit. I think Curimeo was talking about his people. Where is he from? Well, you know what I mean? I don't know. He's in Chile. He says the people that he sees around him are doing certain things. So I don't know. Maybe you're right, man. Maybe that's what it is and shit. So anyways, I think that's all I got. It's been 3 hours and 20-something minutes already. Forgive me if I wasn't clear enough for everybody. I wish I would have tackled my topic, because technically I wanted to get into Deuteronomy 4, but man, you know what I mean? I knew that this would get in the way, so I'll leave it for tomorrow. All right? And anyhow, other than that, family, I hope you guys... understand what I mean by bringing up partes sequitur ventrum. I think it's very clear. They're targeting the 14th Amendment. by them saying, here, I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you before I leave. Partus sequitur ventrum basically meant that if the mother was enslaved, then the babies would be enslaved, okay? That's what it means. So what they're saying is that the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to us. It only applies to white and black people because supposedly black people were slaves, or the only slaves, right? But we read that natives, our people, indigenous, were slaves as well. They're saying that, no, it don't apply to us. It only applies to crackety cracks and, blackety blacks. Okay? Listen to this shit real quick. This is what they're arguing. Partus sequitur ventrum, they're trying to put it back on the plate. From 1662, they're trying to get rid of your citizenship. Yeah, hey, you know what, man? I hope so, brother. I really hope so, man. You know what I mean? I'm not here to cause division with people. All I'm saying is this, bro. That the Israelites came from the Ur of the Chaldees, from the area of Ur, and there was a variety of shades in that area. So for people to say that Israelites predominantly look a certain way, that's a fucking lie. Not at all. We came in a mixture of looks and features and shit. So when people tell you like, oh, no, you're an Israelite if you look like this, that's a lie. It's like me saying, you're only an Israelite if you join my camp or if you come to my building. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that, listen, we all came from that region. We all have variety of features, but certain Israelites are going to be calling to this name. And when people try to tell me, oh, no, you were once black. No, bro, that's bullshit. We all originated from that region. But I tell you this, there is a section of West Africans that want to steal this heritage. And you may not even be one of those people. Because remember, the continent of Africa and Asia is huge. And so is it here. So I'm not saying that everybody, like, look, for example, I don't say every so-called Hispanic is our people. Fuck no, bro. Like, we know that. We fucking know that. We lived around these people. What I'm saying is that don't hold us to a certain phenotype because that shit is a lie. Remember, it's a spiritual walk with a spiritual understanding. And if you understand the story of Abraham, you will understand exactly and know what he was referring to. Listen, maybe you'll hear me, maybe you won't. But I'm very harsh with the way that I speak. And just like, the Messiah, man, when he went into the fucking Pharisees, he didn't hold back, bro. He said what he needed to say. He's about his father's business. So if you claim that you're an Israelite and you suffer the curses, then let's go into them and prove who the fuck came, who the fuck did this, and who the hell did that. And when things start to show themselves and light starts to be like focusing on them, then you have to reflect and say, okay, if, like, for example, when I used to think of this, because remember, BHI has been saying this since like 2003, right? Putting it on tape and shit. And we have to come with the same question, like, bro, because we assumed that because we were light skinned, we were mixed, right? So we had to come with that same thought, like, man, what if I'm a Spaniard? Because remember, man, you come on, man, it's fucking true. Everybody went through that shit. But now the tables have turned. So now you have to ask yourself, were you a Negro colonizer? Were you a Negro colonizer? Now the tables have turned. Now you have to ask yourself that question. Because we used to be told that we may be white colonizers. We found out, no, that's bullshit. So now the tables have turned, and the question is, were you a Negro colonizer? And if so, then how do you fit in this whole heritage?
Supreme Court's major ruling on the final day of the term. The conservative majority said it will limit lower court's ability to issue nationwide injunctions to halt President Trump's executive orders. CBS legal contributor Jessica Levinson joins me now. A lot has been said about the birthright citizenship, but this really comes down to what the judicial powers are. Explain what this is really all about.
You're exactly right. And thank you for correctly setting it up this way. This is a case that started because people and states challenge President Trump's executive order when it comes to birthright citizenship, and in my mind, an executive order that likely would not survive constitutional review. Now, what judges did as a result of those challenges was to impose so-called nationwide injunctions, essentially saying that the executive order would not just be stayed, meaning stopped, with respect to the people who sued, but wouldn't go into effect with respect to everybody in the country. The case that went up to the Supreme Court and that was decided today, arguably the biggest case of the term, was about whether or not federal judges could do that, whether or not the relief they could grant when somebody challenges an executive order could be that broad. And ultimately, the court basically said no, with some very small exceptions. Maybe states can get these nationwide injunctions if that's the only way to get adequate relief. But essentially, the court said, you know what, this is the wrong vehicle. This is the wrong mechanism. Try for class actions instead if you want broader relief.
How difficult is that? And how long does that take to get that sort of relief?
Well, I think we're about to see, and we know that there have already been, in the last few hours since the Supreme Court made its decision, a number of class action suits that have been filed, or I should say individuals who are seeking class certification. Now, there are additional thresholds in order to be certified as a class, and I think the question will be case by case whether or not judges are saying very quickly, yes, you're a class, move forward, or if this imposes some serious burdens for plaintiffs. When it comes to birthright citizenship, I think there's a good chance that there is a group that will be certified as a class and that this particular executive order may never actually be implemented.
One last time.
I think the problem with people.
Hey, one last.
I think the problem with people like.
Shut up. One last time, so people don't forget, family. All right, one last time, dog. Here we go.
I think the problem with people like this is that they are so stupid that they have no idea how stupid they are. You see, if you're very, very stupid, how can you possibly realize that you're very, very stupid? You'd have to be relatively intelligent to realize how stupid you are. There's a wonderful bit of research by a guy called David Dunning at Cornell, who's a friend of mine, I'm proud to say, who's pointed out that in order to know how good you are at something requires exactly the same skills as it does to be good at that thing in the first place, which means, and this is terribly funny, that if you're absolutely no good at something at all, then you lack exactly the skills that you need to know that you're absolutely no good at it. And this explains not just Hollywood, but almost the entirety of Fox News.
No hay tiempo para pensar si hoy queda más que reír por lo que nos hizo sentir. Si la intuición no te deja seguir, no te vayas a rendir, no te quiero ver sufrir. Búscate, escúchate, lucha, que mucha de tu fuerza nace de ti. Vas a ver que alimañas muerden tus entrañas, con sus artimañas extrañan tu fin. Sigue pues si tus pies tocan el suelo, el anzuelo no tira de ti. Grita fuerte si la vida te duele, que vuele el dolor, lo expulsamos de aquí. Darme ya nago. Mi llorar frío. Antes de perder las formas, sé la luz del sol cuando no lo puedas ver. Cierra su boca cuando te hablen de más normas. Todo lo mal montado se ha de romper. Aunque que tú te rompas no hará más que estorbar. Si es bajo el castigo y mando de Lucifer, en verdad tú sabrás con lo que te conformas. Y yo con el super amor traer.
Hablan sin sentido y se enamoran, pero todo llega y solo te queda esperar. Pasan los segundos y las horas y sin darte cuenta todo vuelve a comenzar. Todo parece lógico en este mundo de plástico. Hay que ver la fe cómo se va perdiendo. Quizás me quede afónico de ser mi propio médico y crecer sin ser un hombre que va muriendo. Tal vez me esté volviendo loco. Tal vez viviendo poco a poco.
Took me so high, there's nobody low. You take me too high, there's no way to go. Así que let's go, vamos a bailar lento, sintiendo todos los movimientos de acá adentro. I won't let you down, thinking this moment of happiness right now, 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 now. El agua refleja el alma del que se aleja. Cuando te quejas, se retrocede de atrás. No te pierdas, o te perderás. Abre la puerta de tu portal, que te arrastrarán a la profundidad del mar. Mal me dejaste arrastrar, ya ni siquiera ve la luz refleja. Solo un pelín internado en la oscuridad.
En la Plaza de Reyes, Black Sumenta, Soplón. Yeah. ¿Qué vas a saber? ¿Qué vas a saber tú? Oye, chibolito, faltomé. Pulpín de los pulpines, batería de Rapunzel, de rapeos, de raptos, de lagartos en cuartel. Cualquier la pega de cruel con un viejo coronel. Soy flujo, se me antojó dormirme en el laurel. Eleve mi level con un label y un Faber-Castell. Ya un papel, lo empape con sangre de todo aquel que se jura Nobel y no ve mis trenes en la riel. What's so man? ¿Por qué no sacan la tablet? Juro por mis aguas que no te hablo por las powers. Soy chincharoneto, búscame por pico sour y te voy a meter al centro loco como Beckenbauer. Escúchame atento mi bro, que estamos rompiéndole en pro. El negro de Plaza de Reyes como siempre rompe de este micrófono. Que quiere meterle como yo pero no puede meterle taco pro. Si te pensaba que solo era un gallo, déjame decirle que se equivocó. Real motherfucker feeling on the street. Es el Black Sheep, Black Sea Metal de Plaza de Kings. Motherfucker, Soplón.
Dinero Luigi, man, desempeño en la victoria para que sepa. Incas Mo, it's money gang, gang, yeah, yeah, Yo también he llorado, gente. También me han desplazado por mi rasgo afrodescendiente. Sí, un perro no habla pero siente. Cuento historias callejeras pa' barrios de delincuentes. Y soy un perro que te ladra, que te muerde y que te huele, nene. Soy más que Lele, ustedes para mí son pelele. Con mi jauría todo el día en busca de los cheles. Tengo un perro en fiscalía que nos mueve los papeles. Y otro en la comisaría para evitar el susto. Muchas veces me han llevado por solo como luzco. Perdón, madre mía, si yo le causé un disgusto. Pero en esta vía yo crecí rodeado de perros chuscos. Yo sé que me quieren ganar, yo sé que me quieren tumbar y no pasará porque soy de verdad. Está súper rafina la Dodo Style, metido en latina aprendiendo un quizá. Yo tengo el style, no mido la raza del perro, yo mido por la lealtad y yo soy leal, yeah. La calle te enseña lo que no te enseña la universidad, yeah. Saliste ese peña aquí con una seña, te tiran para atrás, yeah. La calle limeña aquí nadie la tiene, ya nada es igual, yeah. Tiene que respetar, yeah. Tiene que respetar, yeah. La calle te enseña lo que no te enseña la universidad, yeah. Saliste ese peña Nero Luigi, man. Incas Mob, yeah. This money gang, 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 yeah.
Hey, yo. Yango en la maldita casa. Me llaman pa' que les dé al menos una vez al mes. Se metieron al lago y olvidaron que era el mes. For everybody bless. La fama es una puta, me está llamando a las 3. Dile que llame después de las 16 y 25. Volví de la infancia de Abraham Lincoln. Con fuerza ya inco, luchando para salir del rincón. Letra callejera en CD brinco. Under del under, puede que tu viejo te lo mande. Sale de vez en cuando como el cóndor por los Andes. Mi cuerpo no es de madera como Dandy. Antes que me branden, yo seré la ola que los expande. Aunque esto me pique en la madera, no sirve ni para romper el ticket de un evento afuera. Loco por la carrera, desafían la gravedad. Yo espero y llego con la novedad. Se espera que ya encontré la manera. He visto bastante porque de lograrlo saltando escalones dentro de la escalera. La vida me puso depósito, yo soy depósito para que el mundo conociera. Modo de parte mejor entre que pared de esa cordillera. Si no se fue, que el espectáculo está dentro. La calle mi templo, que ropa dinero. Cuando yo me concentro, mis disparos son temas latino. Poemas se siente desde cuando entro. Que gatita se toma gatita que tengo que rapeando ritmos al centro del balcón. Salutación de acción en la misma gestión. Pero la magia no tiene valor. Patrón, yo llamo, esa es la cuestión. Y doy fe por cada renglón. Consciente de la operación del final de Mbappé con la edad de bufón. De Yango en la maldita casa. Plaza de Rey y papá. El Nero Luigi, Black Cemental. Hip hop peruano. Rasgo en la maldita base.
Comentando, ¿qué dicen? Sí, ¿qué cuentan? Ya, escúchame, ya. Los medios cuentan que si hay libertad de prensa, la mordaz es cosa escasa y todos dicen lo que piensan. Y esa sutil es impresa y repetida diariamente. Tiene contenta tu mente con yo soy combate y fiesta. Presta el control, Tarantino no es tan gore como los crímenes de amor que a toda hora se nos muestra. Pues tal vez la estrategia impuesta. Pánico en el público y manejarás el cuesta pal. Político en vez de patrullas se vende camilla para un hospital. Como si esa mierda de combo no diera seguridad. No será casualidad que el otro dueño del canal sea el cerro sobrino pero bueno de un primo hermano pariente papá. Que esa nostalgia no es noticia, su codicia se evidencia. Propicia violencia y plástico, panémicas, belleza. Fútbol, patriotismo, falso culo, vasos que se besa. Pele cáncer pa' tu mesa y el domingo en misa pesa. Sobre su cabeza pesa el atraso mental del pueblo. Oposición vendió trasero, dictador, grupo Romero. Pero se confundieron acá, la palabra es cruda. Autoeducación en camino se afloja la lucha a través de cultura. Es como genera de uno, tal vez otro loco se suma. Ya saben cortina de humo que explota la mina que mata la cuna. Primo, vengo que trate la friuna, no una pura canción de aventura. No censura, emite basura, no le conviene que sepa verdura. Hay extorsiones, violaciones, robo, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en bilis para que vivan en la fantasía algún día cambiará. Hay extorsiones, robo, violaciones, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en bilis para que vivan en la fantasía algún día cambiará.
Sensacionalismo, amigo eterno de la prensa, el mismo que forjó al humano sumiso, callado y muestra. En el noticiero, en el artículo del diario, la vida de una bebé que poco invierte
al vecindario.
Sirven como fieles feligreses, a oscuro intereses, mienten todo el día, crían, crean solo estupideces. La historia afirma, indica que siempre negaron información alternativa que todo pueblo merece. A cada instante pareciera su labor asesinar una memoria colectiva que hace una nación. Con una prensa cómplice que juega con humor, desconociendo ese dolor que nos dejó ese dictador. Cortina de humo es su mejor función. Para apartarte de la fuente harán de todo, pues miró. Como venderte el culo de Sharon Stone, cagándose en tu derecho a la objetiva información. El narco, el almirante, el presidente, el congresista, algún ministro, algún legado, de seguro es el patrón de ese periódico morboso y amarillo que al leerlo 2 minutos te vuelve en un show. Los medios son culpables, responsables de toda propaganda basura que te ofrece la TV. Pues será mejor que se autoeduque, pues my friend, porque el comercio de los medios te carcome hasta las 100.
Hay violaciones, extorsiones, robo, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en bilis para que vivan en la fantasía algún día cambiará. Hay extorsiones, violaciones, robo, llanto y más. Con tanto muerto el morbo están alimentando, ves no hay paz. Solo un odio contenido en bilis en las bandas y algún día cambiará. Que algún día cambiará. Que algún día cambiará. CPF.
Yeah. Oye, es nada más y nada menos que el motherfucker Blasphemous de Plaza de Kings. Estos bebés son Big Papo, dude. No sean rebeldes, deje el revolu. Yo aún no me quede, yo me hospede junto a Belzebú. No me remete, plebe, no soy leve como tú. Si hay algo que no muere, eso es el hip hop, Perú. Y para estos pericos te traje una chica perica. Atrás te voy a mostrar como dos monstruos las trafican. No trate ni trepe, solo trote, señorita. Trate que tra, donde la sangre salpica. Se aplica, te explica, replica, ¿pa' qué? Aplica, practica, suplica, con fe. A mi perro grita, yo lo mataré. Tu madre llora y canta, jalabade, flow peregrina, chivolo propina, ina, hacen base, mejor coja vaselina, no imagina, mi vida fuera de una esquina, yo solo quiero más chavo pa' comprar más chilindrina, gira, que somos puros animales rompiéndote todos los cristales, repete señales que a ti no te sale, ¿qué pasa compadre? Somos naturales, voy a llenar todas las editoriales, rate de mi huevo pa' los tribunales, tú eres un antianal, yo experto en artesanales, yeah, se me afaga la cimuita, sopló.
Hey, Terco 92 B09 está en la casa, barrio. Escucha bien. Así se hace, Yo. Tengo problemas de actitud y poca paciencia. Hablo si me da la gana, nadie me silencia. No quieren aceptar que pa' muchos soy influencia. La voz de los barrios que llega a tocar tu conciencia. Yo sé que muchos quieren llegar a ser tendencia y hacen lo que sea sin pensar en las consecuencias. Es la diferencia, yo mantengo mi esencia y ustedes por pegar han cambiado hasta de apariencia. Y no es que lo diga yo, pero la gran evidencia es que cambian de personalidad con frecuencia. Y no son locos con inteligencia, solo quieren un poco de atención con insistencia. No presumo en nada, hago todo a mi conveniencia. Por eso te doy una sugerencia: conmigo no busquen competencia, que llevo 10 años ganándole a la vida y lo sabe la audiencia. La firme, qué ocurrencia, ¿cómo pueden joder sin prudencia? No se dan cuenta que mi experiencia es a base de exigencia. Mi trabajo es con independencia y el de otros de un productor depende de su permanencia. Sigo firme en la resistencia, dándole más rap en el track hasta por correspondencia. Que muchos disques evolucionaron, no es coincidencia. El dinero y la fama hizo que pierdan su decencia. Terco 92, cuando quieras, donde quieras.
¿Cómo? Sí. He aprendido a sobrevivir de las maldades, comprendiendo que nada es como tus sables. Pa' decir verdad, la lucho a diario. No me critiques, no me justifico, siempre hago lo que predico. Soy de barrio y rico en talento. De una me sacan por mi forma de ser y me acento en el yauca. Mi gente la está rompiendo por ser parte de este movimiento. Quiero saludar a las personas que nunca confiaron en mí, que hoy por hoy se partean cuando me ven venir. Bye bye motherfuckers, en estas líneas voy a fluir. Déjate llevar como hay people in the street, yo. Déjate llevar como hay people in the street. Hey, 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 oh, yeah, hey. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 es la torita aquí en la casa, primo.
Mexicano bandido, todo el barrio prendido. Siempre ando bien cuido, siempre poniendo ruido. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, yo defiendo mi tierra. No me dejo de nadie, yo cuido a los míos, mi raza se aferra. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera, yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera, yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Me voy tendido, me voy empinando mi bote. Un poco mareado por la bebida y el borlote. Me tiene hasta la riata la gente con su mitote. Pero me despreocupo, me pelan todo el garrote. Me para la chota, ya es por mi apariencia. Que hay tantos delitos, que hay tanta demencia. Yo no cargo nada, no más mi presencia. Pinche puerco joto, atente a las consecuencias. Si no topa el poli en breve nos para en la calle. No puede salir uno conmigo porque ya hay detalles. No quiere que conteste, quiere que yo solo calle. Quiere mi dinero pero que chinga su madre. A la dica este sistema nos quieren ver abajo. Pero tumbar gente, quien les dijo que es trabajo. Puro chingar al indio, váyanse mucho al carajo. Loco no me rajo, lo bueno porque
se armó la alianza más pesada del país. Todo el mundo ya conoce las rimas de estos MCs. Pa' ponerme más feliz, unos paisas de hachís. Mis paisas en el gabacho, bien truchas con la polis. Loco en Guanajuato, con los ojos bien tumbados. De coto con el quesada, rifando por todos lados. Atento si prendo un blunt en cabina cuando grabo. Represento Nuevo León, junto a mi carnal el Davo. Cuando voy pa' Jalisco, el pasado está olvidado. Con el perro de la C, bien grifo, pedo y enfiestado. Chécate mi banderón, unido como había soñado. Bien bajado ese balón, compa lefty bien bajado. Puro hip hop mexa, hasta que amanezca. Pásenme un mezcal y que no se pague la yesca. Ya saben que aquí andamos pilas pa' lo que se ofrezca. Si escribo estas rimas es pa' que se enorgullezca.
verde marihuana, blanca cocaína, roja la sangre que escurre de una nueva herida. Yo salí de la ruina, nunca se me olvida. Con disciplina y respeto sigo en la movida. Ando bien high, la vida es un freestyle. Disfruta lo que hay, vivo entre el bien y el mal, carnal. Crazy life todo el día, viendo live. Pinto tu barda con spray, lo que canto es real. Azules y rojas las sirenas que me persiguen. No suben pa' la virgen, salen todos cuando chifle. Mi barrio no lo pisen, que andamos todos grises. Maldito policía, no quiero que me revises. Prende la mota en Canala o en Hitter. Ando con mi flota y el dealer. Tenemos lo que se te ofrezca, tú nada más pide. Me dijo mi madre que de la envidia me cuide.
Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera.
Ya, ábranse cabrones, llegó el mexicano partiendo sin necesidad de palancas. Todos jugamos en la misma liga, yo soy titular, tú ves desde la banca. Disfruto cada cosa que me pasa, colaboro y mi carrera se levanta. El mismo cabrón que antes no tenía nada, se la pasa viajando y dice que canta. Por eso me caga enfermarme de la garganta. Pero aguanta, traigo mata natural y humo de planta. 2, 3 cabrones dando lata y yo haciendo más plata. De esto la vida se trata y pa' que sepas no es barata. MC da bolos desbarata con cada escalón que sube. Yo tuve la suerte de hacerme fama en YouTube. Hay 2, 3 raperos de antaño que me bajé de su nube. Los mandé pa' su casa y de premio hasta les pagué el Uber. Si alguien me tira es porque sabe bien que domino el negocio y quiere de mi parte. No quiero darlas de grande, pero si me tiras la neta me toca humillarte. Soy capitán, llevo el estandarte. Somos muy pocos los que hacemos arte. Este flow si es de Marte, tú dale like y comparte.
México lindo y bandido, diario a Diosito le pido que me cuide a la familia si un día el cora ya no late. Estoy bendecido porque me cuidan los míos. Orgullosamente me exatamos locos de remate. Jaque mate, no hable de volar si viene gateando. La cosa por la frontera se pone violenta, no importa el rango. Toda la raza jalándole duro, si hay algo seguro es la muerte en donde ando. El sudor y la sangre en la frente, los de alzada controlando. Se roban la atención, ya saben quiénes son. Vatos locos con sazón como el de un corridón. No quiera tomarme el pelo si ando todo pelón. Levantando la bandera, viva México cabrón.
La bandera con un águila, Simón, mi tierra es esta. Me vale si mi piel o si mi acento les molesta. Acá jalan horas extras, nunca duermen la siesta. Están los que van pa'l jale y los que la viven de fiesta. Otros que en el pintón se tatúan de corazón. 3 colores en el pecho, morirían por su nación. Aunque su puto gobierno los puso en la situación de no terminar la escuela y terminar en la prisión. ¡Viva México, ladrones! ¿Qué hubo, les presidente? Ya saben que por mí policías chinguen a 20. Y ahí están mis 20 pa' la cagua. Aguas, que es tierra caliente de Chiapas hasta Chihuahua. Wow, 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 yipi-yo, yipi-yucas. Guanas, Montegreen, Aguas, Tijuas y San Lucas. San Luis Potosí, Mataulipas, La Puebluca. Dime si o no lo buscas.
Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera.
Puro hip hop mexa perros 2023.
Ey yo, ey yo.
Somos la santa carnal. Ey, ey, los machidones de la plaza.
Oye, DJ Dunning en los scratches. Desde alzada, mi perro. No saben quién soy o sí. Oye.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.